So, I mean, just another day. I'm being blamed for everything.
He came in here guns blazing the last 2 weeks about how, when he's the producer, everything is just
seamless.
Excellent. Seamless. Everything, the show just runs really, really well. Well, this week we get a hit it. Everyone's quiet. We hear hit it.
I was
Snyder.
I paid attention. I paid attention. Snyder had he was trying to put something in. I was letting him do his job to get ready. I got
wow.
Blame the new guy.
Wow.
He thinks we're laughing with him.
That's fine. No, I don't. I never think that. Don't worry.
Well, you roboted out. AI just took control for a quick 10, 15 seconds there. Wow.
Maybe if we change Coco's name to OpenAI, he can get bailed out too.
That would be great. We need a new CEO.
Bring a GPT chat.
Hey, we're still working this out. We're still trying to get 2 monitors in houses, and we'll be all right.
Yeah,
I got one
in the mail. It's in the mail.
Ay.
I thought that's why we brought Snyder. Snyder's going to get my mail to me on time. It's going to be perfect.
I got dual monitors going over here.
You're a
I have
professional.
monitors.
Second week.
3.
You have 3?
I have 3, and it's pretty nice. Yeah. Now, if my employers would just shut off the stream now, sometimes I'd work on 2, and I'll have something on TV on the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. Like, I've got the 2 computers. I got the main one. I just got to switch to HDMI. I got to get a bigger monitor. But I tell you what, Suits has been rocking on. But I'm getting to a point where I'm just like, really, how much more shit can this be?
I had to stop.
Me too.
Where? What part?
Oh God! Let me look it up. Hold on.
Like later in the show, just like when everything continues going to shit.
Okay, I'm seasons into it, and it's been a month since I watched it.
I'm at like when they're getting married.
I got just past that, Jero, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. You guys are fucking.
Can someone give me
yourself.
Give me a summary of what the show's about? I haven't watched a single episode.
Oh, so Suits, it's a show on Netflix. It was on TV, and it's
I'm on season 7. I stopped.
All right, so there is.
You said 2 to start.
How many seasons are there, Snide?
8.
There's 8. You stopped in.
Is it really?
Well, hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah. Well, my Netflix says 7 that I stopped.
It's a show about a law firm.
It's good. It's really good. Yeah.
The first 3 seasons are fucking great.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just kind of like I'm getting to that point where shows go too long and they're like, what else can go wrong? And here you go.
It's the same shit over and over with the last couple.
And that's where I was like, I've had enough. You're just an idiot. Just fucking shit or get off the pot here.
Yeah.
I can't stand when TV shows do that. When it's just like you're bringing up the same storyline over and over and over again. That's
what it is. Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Squid Games comes out tomorrow though.
No, see,
no, that's not it.
That's not it.
They just needed season 1. Oh
yes.
no, but there's it's a game show though.
Right.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
It's games of Squid Game.
They're redoing it. I don't know how they're gonna not shoot everybody.
It's Japan. Things happen. There's just people
Season 1.
jerking people off on TV in Japan. They can get away with a lot more.
That was one of the wildest things that, like, I was just like, holy shit, what am I watching?
So I had a hockey game one night. My dad came over to watch the kids, and I get home at like 11 o'clock. And my son's still up, and he's watching Squid Games. I'm like, Dad, you had one job,
and watching this show was not it. Oh my! Yeah. That's not the show you want. You want the kids watching. That's for sure.
Yeah, 11-year-olds should not be watching Squid Games.
Oh my!
Although I do want to see how long it takes to carve out the cookies, one of the shapes. I wouldn't even mind playing tug of war over nothing.
Dude, the glass one was wild too.
Yeah,
the one where they had to cross that bridge and there was like you didn't know if you were stepping on glass or not.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Bridge, that was wild too. Just the whole show, just in general, was like, I don't like I was saying earlier, I don't think you need a season 2 of that. I thought the same thing with Stranger Things. I thought Stranger Things was a great one and done. They've done a good job in the last couple of seasons, but the kids are like in college now, and they're acting as, you know what I mean? Unless you're animated like South Park, where these kids are still in 3rd grade or 4th grade, you know what I mean? Like for 20 years.
Yeah, this last season can make or break how people remember that show.
Like The Bear would have been a perfect
They're doing
one
it.
and done.
They're doing another one.
They're doing a 3rd season?
They're doing a 3rd season for The Bear?
I think Bear season 2 was so much better than season. I thought it was phenomenal.
Me too.
I actually, and that's one of those shows that like everything seems to happen so quick that there's still new stuff that can happen. And you're kind of getting backstory. Like they do a really good job of doing backstory, and especially in season 2, you were getting like the whole story of his family while all this shit was happening, and like kind of seeing where his brain was at in both spots. The show's really, really well done.
I think he's a really good actor.
Me too.
Yes, he is. Yeah. He looks like Bob Dylan. I thought the same thing on Shameless. I'm like, why is Bob Dylan so young? I thought the times were changing. Oh, I'm going for the deep cuts tonight.
He is calling Tambourine Man quite a bit in that show, so
you are on one.
There we go.
I hate this fucking echo cancellation I'm on. It doesn't come through my fucking headphones anymore. I don't like this.
You don't
myself.
Oh, my echoes don't come through your headphones anymore.
He likes your voice so much he wants to hear it twice.
You can turn it off, but it was just like it's very, very faint, and you actually can't even hear it. Like
I can't hear myself. That's why I need to take.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's unique. So, you know what else is tough? We got to get going. We got to fuck ourselves. We got a fucking show tonight, boys.
We do, don't we?
The big man is back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bring It. It's a Thanksgiving edition of Bring It, where we're going to talk all things we're thankful for. No, go fuck yourself. That's some PBR fucking NHPR bullshit. Go listen to fucking Coming Across America. The last time I came across America, I was in the back of a fucking coach bus driving up to Utica playing AAU baseball. D-Money, what's happening, baby? What you drinking?
I was in a white tour van the last time I was coming across America.
No windows.
Yeah, it was wild. We would take turns. We would stop, take turns in the back, get it done, and move on. Tonight I have
feed the ducks along the way.
You do. You can't just not. You can't not.
Let the demon out.
Tonight I have a RAR. I have the Lumber Sexual Double IPA, and then
is that John Barbagallo on the can?
Yeah, that's
sexy lumberjack.
That's a wonderful mustache. I'm actually kind of trying to go for it a little bit, but it's just I can't get the mustache in the front. You know what I mean? Once it gets over the lip and it starts to just get in all your food, that's when it's got to go.
But your taint, on the other hand, is where you got a good mustache going.
Yeah. On deck, I have Kettlehead Nightmares on Nightmares Imperial Stout here. So
you only have 2 beers?
I had a double IPA earlier. I have a double IPA on deck, and I have an Imperial Stout.
Oh yeah.
In the hole.
Yeah, you're gonna be hammered. You're gonna be hammered by the time this is over.
Oh my god, the Imperial Stout is an 11.9%. So
let's have a day.
I'm gonna be asking Hickey some wild questions.
Coco, what's up, buddy? It sounds like no school tomorrow. Is that what I heard?
Tomorrow. Yeah, we get Wednesday off for Thanksgiving. That's what I'm thankful for right now. Okay. And it's allowing me to enjoy some beverages with the boys tonight.
Are you going to tell us, or you just
absolutely? I was going to sing it. I was going to sing this one to you.
I know.
That's how we do it. Like that's why I bought this one. This is how we do it by Long Live, and I just can't get that song stuck or out of my head now. That's a nice IPA.
Which can is that one?
Oh, with the got it.
I almost grabbed that one. Yeah.
So it's just kind of dark with some diamonds. I like diamonds. I like to shine bright. So I got my
shine bright like a diamond.
And then I have a dark lager modernism from Chilling on Deck, and I have a feeling I'm gonna have to pee at some point. And I'm gonna replenish at that point.
Wow. Okay.
Beautiful. Right. Let's go.
I'm a planner.
Connie Snyder. We got to figure out what
we got to get him a name.
you a name. You're gonna have a lot tried out here tonight. We're just gonna throw shit at you. Music Mike, Magic Mike gets used too much, and you're not Magic Mike. But anyway, Mr. Clean, what are you drinking tonight?
I was just got a sweet tea lemonade mix.
We're back on the sweet tea.
I never really stop on.
I don't think you left. Stayed on that train.
Yeah, they go by the gallon, you know.
That after last week, you might just want to put a straw in the gallon and just keep it next to the computer. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
Now, is it considered an Arnold Palmer? It's sweet, even if it's sweet tea.
I would say so. Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah.
No, I love an Arnold Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
They're even better with
John
they're
Dale.
delicious anytime. They're really delicious with vodka, or they're even better when you just use sweet tea vodka and lemonade. You throw a little soda water for the effervescence, and it's delightful.
Effervescence.
The bubbles.
It's all about the bubbles. Yeah. Jero, what do you got? What do you got? I know we all went to our spot in Manchester. We all got 2 4-packs. It looks like.
Yeah, I got 2 4. I have a double IPA right now. I've had a couple sours already. I've got a milk stout and then 4 more sours. So we're gonna hammer out a 6-pack tonight. Also, I said, why not? It was chilly. I wanted the coat. I also took an edible. So we're really gonna have a fucking show tonight.
Okay. All right.
I guess it's Hickey's not the one yelling at me. J-Ro's gonna be.
No, the edibles to offset the booze.
So, do we want to jump into? Hick's coming on what 8:30ish? Yeah. He's got one more, or he might even have more than this, but he's got yet another meeting with the national committee. So we're gonna try and see if we get any new rules for this year.
I saw a couple new rules people posted, but nothing
crazy. I can't imagine. Yeah. I mean, after the last couple of years,
it
seems like it. I mean, tournament play in general just seems that the rules seem to be pretty decent. And I think the one that I heard about that I think is going to be even better is, are they changing the runner rule?
Anyone on the roster
to be like the conference or GSL rule?
I don't know if they're doing pitcher only,
but it can be anyone on the roster.
Right. But what needs to change outside the conference is the whole, if you hit for your pitcher and the pitcher's getting a runner, it's that spot in the lineup. Like it doesn't matter who hits in that spot. That person gets the runner. So if I hit for you, Dustin, I'm the fastest guy on the team. Someone's got to come and run for me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you went in for the pitcher. If you go in for the pitcher, if you're the pitcher,
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the case in conference?
It is.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. But that's what makes it confusing when the local level is you go and you hit for the pitcher should get a runner.
Yeah, or who's ever in the pitcher spot.
But if you pinch hit for the pitcher, they weren't counting that as the pitcher. They were counting as a pinch hitter. So you couldn't use the run. Yeah. They weren't using the runner for the pitcher's spot.
I'll tell you what. If that pitcher rule happens, I will be full-time pitching from here on out. Easy run.
I mean, locally, you give 2 runners. You give 1 runner an inning, and then you give the pitcher runner.
No,
I think anything under B really should be pitcher gets a runner and there's just 1 for someone else on the team.
Mm-hmm. Couldn't I manipulate that rule by I go in to hit for Dustin and then I just say somebody else is the new pitcher?
No, it was whoever finished the inning.
I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the home team, then it would have to stay in that spot. Yeah. That's the easiest way to do.
Pitching and I come in for him to pitch. That inning, I'm the pitcher.
Yeah, so it's not like
my spot gets the automatic runner.
Now, if we did a real switch and somebody else pitches, they just take over that spot.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to make that change. Like if the plan was Mike goes in for me, Mike goes to catcher, and the catcher pitches, the pitcher would have to pitch 1 batter to get the actual runner.
Yeah, you have to finish the inning to be able to get the runner.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that. I'm interested to see if he came away with anything about Suncoast. I doubt that they probably, because they're still all within. Yeah, they're still all in that, right?
I haven't heard anything, and the only thing I saw was Carucci going on a rant.
I'm just like, because the last thing we heard from was that they actually passed the tests.
So
Like it was like 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, but then they tested an extra bat and it failed.
So
With no one, with not
how
a Suncoast,
convenient.
and a Suncoast rep or employee was not there
For
when
the
they
last-
tested that last bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm. So
It just
Well,
seems weird, right?
I
That
know.
whole situation, the fact that it came out that there was even at 50% pass rate, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? I'd be interested to see what the pass rates for all the other bat companies are.
I saw the thing after Worlds. Actually, I don't remember what it looked like, but they have like a bar graph of everything.
Why didn't you have your phone on you?
I
Could have taken a picture of that. Like that would have been amazing.
They should just ask a small podcast to stream while they're doing it and talk about that.
I also heard that they were kind of like holding out to if they got the okay, but I don't know if this is true because a lot of people's warranties were ending. But I also heard they were gonna, the day that their bats got reinstated, they were gonna reinstate the warranties for that day.
Okay.
So they kind of
give them that extra time.
Give them that extra time.
That would be good.
I heard both, so who knows?
Yeah, that's just a nightmare of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
To be completely, it probably wasn't handled well by anyone.
No, I think U-Trip dropped the ball big time on it.
Well, I mean, how is it that you have bats go out to market and then retroactively take them off the market because they didn't pass your test that they're supposed to pass before they're being sold? Like,
yeah, I mean, I got an argument with Pilla about that a couple of years ago at the duel when the 240s first came out with the Anarchies. I had 5 of them fail at the duel. I was like, hey man, like I'm taking these wrappers off in front of you. This isn't possible. Like they wanted to pass the certification. Right. So we had to call Schrodown to take them to the digital tester at the stadium, and they all passed.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's that variance between testers too, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and that's that in itself is just knows what's going on.
My tester is different than Justin Trella's tester by 25%. 25
pounds. That's how it is with literally every not all testers are
and that's a lot
created equally. Like that's, you know what I mean?
Thank you for going with
that. Well, you look at it like this, like they just upped the compression from 220 to 240 a couple years ago. So 25, a variance of 25 is a lot when you're looking at that, because you could have a bat that's, you know what I mean?
It's huge.
Below 20.
And in these off-season tournaments, when you're swinging these 240s that are 200,
that's better.
It's pretty good.
I tell you, it is so much fun to swing some of those bats you can't swing during those testing days. Oh, it's fucking fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's.
Sorry, I was just reminiscing on swinging it a couple times.
Yeah, you actually came twice right there.
So I mean, to jump back on that though, like if there was anyone who got hurt while one of those bats were in play, and then they saw like, oh, they actually banned this bat retroactively, that's also like one of those things where you're like, well, what the fuck? If that bat wasn't there, like, do I get hurt in that instance? Obviously, who knows? But yeah, it's just it's weird that the whole retroactive.
I think it would have been fine if they didn't do it when they did it.
Yeah, wait till the year is done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like,
but a week or two before Vegas.
Yeah, that's bad. That's like, and you have a team that's a major team that's it's on your in your conference. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing what are you doing as a company to you're just pushing that team away?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely crazy. And realistically, the only Suncoast bat that I think was like, holy shit, this is weird, was the Adidas Ruckus, which didn't matter. I don't know, man. Didn't matter how many times you swung that bat. It passed at 240 and 250 every single time.
The Suncoast last year were really good.
Okay. I never swung them.
I didn't. I got balls hit at me.
He was supposed
to. I had balls hit at me that were noticeably harder.
Crispy?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and that was a wild. I mean, that was a wild time. Quick, hard, especially where they had grabbed such a market share too so quickly off of the ruckus, and then everybody.
Yeah, so Farhar on here said that they're going to date the receipts back to the ban list.
Yeah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
good.
good.
That's good for them, for a company wise.
They have to, or else. I mean, think about how much money they've already lost. I mean, they were like, I think J-Ro was going here. There are a couple of companies that, I mean, outside of the Mikan, Easton, and the Rawlings group or whatever it is,
yeah.
They did not have strong 240s to begin with.
No,
right.
You know what I mean? It was Suncoast, it was Anarchies were pretty good, and Louisville's were good for 240s right out of the get go. I feel like people were swinging those, and those were performing close to 220s, or as close as you can get. But the other, it felt like the other companies were a little bit behind.
Yeah, you're going to see DeMarini make a big push this coming year.
Those bats, so I'd like that red bat last year. That was before Louisville came on board. Like I was swinging that red bat, and
I have that
27.5. I got it in the garage still.
Yeah,
I have that teal Nautilus, and that thing is pretty nice too.
Before Anarchy, I swung that red bat with the women 2020 and won the A as a double A team, double A as an A team, and that thing was something else. We put down the Easton Whams, Pows, and Bams for that red bat. Wow. So that'll tell you how good that red bat was before the 240s.
And it was, I'm assuming that it was holding compression too. Were those?
Oh yeah,
the Eastons. I mean, at the end of the 220 cycle, were known to go to like 170 and not break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes in and we got our first ring comment. I love it.
Sorry.
Let's go.
There we go.
Sorry.
Why? Why? You've got fucking what? 8 of them?
3.
Oh, still, it's a curvy
rookie number.
It's cute.
Fill up a hand.
No, I think it would be nice, and you're right. Suncoast probably should, if they do that, if that is, the way they're playing it, you almost have to from a business standpoint, just so you don't.
I tell you what,
loyalty.
I see them being unbanned.
If they are, they're gonna get a. That means they got a good chunk of change from UTREP, right? That means they settled or they won the case. So that'll be interesting, especially with all the shit that UTREP's going through right now with everything else. I mean, that's.
Can we training back and we're going after?
Dude, I've heard some crazy stuff the last couple of days to weeks about a possibility of someone from One Nation
allegedly.
Allegedly. Someone said, I think it was on the Old Scout, that someone from One Nation was going to try and buy UTREP. I was laughing.
That would be wild. It was a little. What's with the One Nation and UTREP having their national convention at the same exact time in Florida?
I don't know.
Right?
Did they?
Dude, I saw it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen them in separate places? I haven't.
People don't realize that UTREP isn't just men's softball. It's a huge company.
Yeah.
That has everything.
I just saw they're like 8 under, 9 under, 10 under, like baseball World Series are already being. I'm like, what the? My son is 7. He's
back. Oh my god,
man.
This is tough. That's a tough face to get stuck on, and it happens to us all. This one's
damn it! I actually tried.
Wow.
All right. So anyway, whatever Coco just said, that was good.
Great.
It was some of my best stuff.
Oh, I mean, I can't wait for Hickey to get here. And Coco is in trouble. Coco's in trouble tonight if this is how it's starting and Hickey shows up. Something else that came out of the convention that really surprised me. Actually, this surprised me outside of some of the other things we've been talking about here. And this was something I wanted to bring up. The fact that a team was not bumped out of Long Island from D to C. Like, I know we saw a lot of bumps getting reversed. Young Guns. I was going there. Don't worry. They got off.
I don't think they were ever on it, were they? This is what we were talking about last week, where they weren't on it.
Which is still fucking wild to me. I mean, the teams that were in the Northeast pretty much all came off, which I can go either way on, and I get it. But Young Guns finished at like 1150 power ranking, had a good finish at Worlds, were fucking good in every tournament. This team was the surprise team that wasn't on the bump list.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, they're only 23 in power rating, higher than Cupcakes. Like, if you're that Young Guns team and you're the only team that gets nationally auto bumped, aren't you looking at Cupcakes, A&D, Premier? Aren't you looking at those teams and saying, why aren't those guys on it?
Yeah,
we had very similar power ratings. I mean, the only team that Titans with a 1330 power rating. That's neat.
Man, they lost 3 games all year.
That's crazy.
It's stupid. Like, what the fuck?
That's wild.
I can't wait to see them and see. They're gonna have a couple pickups, but they're gonna be fucking gross to see next.
I think they're gonna be. Yeah, I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, I think that this team's gonna probably do well. Have a positive, an over 500 win percentage.
Yeah, but even if they do, it shouldn't be. They shouldn't take it. I mean, they just build on it. Even if they don't do well.
Oh yeah, I mean
you can't be mad at what you've done in 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that in C that's where you start to see like teams are closer to 500 because you do, even if you're playing in C, if you're playing, one of the best teams power rating wise against one of the lower teams power rating wise, that lower team still has a chance to win every game.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like you have to, like, it's completely different than D, where the just the power rating, the weight on those is just so different from the high end teams to the lower end teams.
Mm-hmm. I think they struggle a little bit in the beginning, but then they find themselves because they didn't play any upper tournaments last year. What they play? Nothing, right?
Maybe one. I think they were 2-2 against C, which that's good as a D team.
So maybe in the beginning they'll struggle, but I think they'll find their groove.
Yeah, I mean, and they're in a good area for softball anyway, so they're going to be able to find their B chips, potentially, and that's going to be one of the teams to watch, I would say, for next year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what was it to get auto bumped at Worlds for C? How many teams were there?
Top 7.
So
there were 8 teams, but it's top 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to show something here. I'm looking at Cedar Creek because Cedar Creek got bumped from C to B.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I mean, I get it. They're sitting at 1179 power ranking in class at 10-5, finished 9th at Worlds, won the John King Cincy Bash 4-0, whatever. This one is, I don't get this one. I mean, I understand who they are.
This team should not be bumped to B.
Look at their roster. See who's on their roster if any of those guys are on the Rock Run team.
So they might have one that got reclassed. It's tough to tell.
I think Gavin. He's young.
Go up, J-Ro, and go to all seasons.
Yeah,
there you go. They might have one. I know that the Cedar Creek team is a D1 Nation team.
Yeah.
So I mean it
and they won One Nation, right?
No, they were a D1 Nation team. They played in the C Worlds instead of the D Worlds.
Yes.
Which I thought that's great. They want to play C, but now being bumped from C to B, they're just, if you're an Amish team, you're getting bumped.
Yeah, so they had no guys on that Rock Run team.
No.
Yeah, this team should not be bumped to B.
This one surprised me because we're sitting here looking at this. We got the bump list up here.
But now, do you see some of those guys from Roof X that aren't going to the major team? Do they play B with them?
Ooh.
Yeah, they are out of the pretty much the same area, right?
Right. Yeah, they are.
Pico. So I mean, it's possible, but this team doesn't. That's not a B team.
In Texas, I was talking to one of the guys who plays C-ball down in Texas. He's a sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
And this was an interesting conversation just to hear, other parts of the country. Texas is trying to bump a lot of teams into B, and you're seeing it here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 just in that little scroll. So 4 teams. I don't know how many of these are, auto bumps, national bumps, or whatnot, but like 1142 finished 49th at Worlds. Huh? Like 32 and 15 in class go 0-2, see you later at Worlds, and you still get bumped to B. So it's interesting having that conversation, hearing about other parts of this country and how different regions do it. Not everything's Florida where it all just kind of whatever. But
Florida
yeah,
has now. I think they maybe have 3 B teams.
That's pretty good.
Maybe
for a single state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that with the way that our C division is in the Northeast, where there's not really one team that's just beating everybody, do you think that actually helps us stay away from the bumps because people are winning and losing?
It's hard. It's hard to. The problem is bumping a C team in the Northeast to B is hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I ran a B team for 2 years here. It's not easy.
Yeah.
You need money because no one wants to pay for anything, and you need to expand from just your state and just the people that you're used to playing with.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And well, here's travel.
Here's the C division this year from 2023, and then this is Northeast. I mean, take away. So the second column's the power. AUIT at 1120, Deluxe Bay. You know, so if you're looking to bump anybody, and we had teams like LFT. We thought in the beginning of the year started hot, didn't finish there. You know, Reloaded making that jump from D to C. AZ Roofing, you guys showed it at the end of the year. National Gold flashes throughout. Like, it was just a weird year. Is that because it's thinned out a little bit more and we're starting to get more of a division?
I think you're just seeing
more parity.
Good teams. Yeah, more parity. You're seeing good teams play good teams.
And I think the lack of tournaments this year with the rainouts affected a lot of teams.
Yeah, the lack of opens specifically. There was I don't think there was a single open.
Look at when we look at those in the future, like the record of the teams beaten. Most teams are beating teams that are 500 or below. There's not, the teams are just kind of beating up on each other, and I think that's keeping that down overall. And then, yeah, they all beat the bad teams, but most of the teams are similar, and so you're not going to.
Well, and here, Coco, to kind of exactly what you're talking about. We thought Smith was going to get bumped last year. They go down, go 0-2 at Worlds, but look at their. We went
2-2. We went 2-2 at Worlds.
Did you last year? Oh, the year before. It's the year before in 21.
So we went 2-2, and when they were making those decisions, our power rating was higher.
This is the team
for the record, for the official record.
Wasn't this the one that was 0-2 at Worlds? Yeah, because checking was one spot. That was the smoke year.
That was the run gate.
Yeah.
I was there watching it.
Ooh.
That was a tough one. That was a tough one for the umpire to say a run scored when 4 guys got up. And there was a guy on base to end the inning.
That's tough.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was like a 2-minute inning, not even. Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, we got to check. I don't know. One came through."
and you know, while we're talking about who's getting bumped and not, they are team classifications, flags. You're going to look at run differential, overall winning percentage of teams beaten, in-class record, power rating, and then again, Hickey, you talked about, they put an emphasis on states, regional and national. So like the Firecracker, the Beast, Natties, and then the Worlds. Yeah.
Hickey sent us that little thing did you take a look at that today?
Well, yeah, I wasn't trying to, I didn't know if we were supposed to be able to share this or not.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't sent with a
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. It was a nice little thing. It wasn't sent with a disclaimer saying like, don't.
I don't think he'll care because I think it is like that was for team, and then players is like, yeah.
So how do you feel on that on states being part of that? Like, I feel like states is just like. You're talking about in some cases you're playing a 3-team state. I played a New Hampshire 3-team C state.
I feel like you have to just show up to states because that used to be a qualification.
Mm-hmm.
It still is a qualification for Northeast.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Right. So and that's like you just show up. Usually if you're a C or above, sometimes your tournament's on a Sunday.
Yep.
Just because like none of the teams are wanting to play in that, which is fucking stupid. They should just have one state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's what used to be fun about like ASA states is that they just like, this is the state tournament.
Mm-hmm.
In New Hampshire, at least that's
how it was in Connecticut for a while.
This is the state tournament. Every team plays in this tournament.
3 days.
Too many people bitched.
What?
Yeah.
Softball players bitch?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. But that's I mean that they should bring that back. Like you're not using it, you're not giving out. I don't think many states get paid bids anyway. They just get bids to Florida. You can go. You just
I don't think
call each of the highest. You call each of the highest finishing
states used to be
division.
Different. We used to go to we used to go to New York for the New York state. We used to go to New Jersey for their states because they gave out huge prizes for going. Like I think it was one year we went to Jersey 3 weekends in a row and it got rained out because the guy spent like 10 grand on like trophies.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so we went for like 3 straight weeks. It got rained out, but we went every week because the director was spending so much money on prizes.
Why not?
Now, when you did that, were you also playing in your own state, or were you only playing in New Jersey?
No, we did it. We did it all.
Because there was a point where.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, no, there was a point where when I a while ago, we were playing in New Hampshire and trying to go to. We would try to go to Maine or Mass, and we were being told you need to stop doing that.
No, they let us go.
It was like
we were told to not do that.
We could go a division above if our state didn't have it or something like that.
Yeah.
But you guys are in that's Connecticut's a fucking great state, great pizza, great beer. But you're in such a great spot where New York, like you can go down play on Long Island. You can go down to the Jersey tournaments. You can come up to Mass. You're not going to come. You'll come. Sometimes people come to Merrimack, but like you have, and even going down to Delaware and like Maryland.
Yeah, we never did that.
4 to 6 hours, but you could. You know what I mean? It's a 4 to 6 hour drive. But when you have New York, Long Island, and Jersey right there, you don't need to. Yeah, but you have a lot of options.
Yeah, not many Connecticut teams come up to Merrimack. Not for NIT. They'll come up for the Beast, maybe.
I never went to New Hampshire to play softball until I went to for Wally's World.
That's the premier. So
I used to go to Maine, Vermont for the Big Woody, but that's different.
The Big Woody. I don't even remember that one. It
was like
the invite.
It was like the same weekend as that other tournament in Maine that does the co-ed tournament. What the heck is it? I don't know.
We don't play co-ed.
Not a big
anymore.
co-ed, maybe.
But the Big Woody
co-ed indoor, big co-ed indoor guys. Not
the Big Woody in Maine on Labor Day weekend used to be the best.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So didn't they have the?
My wife's been asking for
the Brattleboro tournament.
Years.
It's in like. Hold on, let me think about it.
There was a big one in Brattleboro.
Brattleboro was Labor Day weekend as well.
Hold on, let me think the name. It was in. I'm gonna have to look it up and get back to you.
And then Maine used to have the
South Rygate, Maine is where it was.
South Rygate. That sounds far away.
It was fucking old Nintendo
fake.
It was actually awesome. It was awesome. You stayed in the Nooka Lodge, which was a wooden cabin. You had no cell phone service. You had a Walmart and a diner, and a lot of beer.
There we go.
If you had a Walmart, Mitch could do a kickflip, so we'd be all set.
Yeah, the fields were nice. One field was set down. And if you could hit a home run, you hit it into the road. It was sweet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I gotta tell you, some
of
those
the name, the Big Woody.
Yeah,
the Big Woody.
I like that. No, was it wood bat?
Oh yeah.
Whoo.
Mm-hmm. It was a blast.
There needs to be more wood bat.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm in.
I would love a night like that last tournament that we played up in Maine. I mean, it was great cause and everything, but I liked playing wood just because you're like, this person can't just burn it by you because
the
bat's doing a lot of the work.
A wood bat with a stadium ball is the best.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds fun.
All right. Wheels are spinning here.
That's inning 2 in the Bring It tournament.
I gotta tell you, kind of like I'm looking here and looking at some of these tournaments going on. Like there was one in Chattanooga, the north versus south in Texas. Like we got to get the fuck out of the Northeast, and maybe like you raise budget during the season to travel to some of these states instead of like you lose 2 tournaments in the Northeast and you head out in the off season and go play one of these fun ones.
AUIT goes to Texas every year for Winter Worlds.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. They've been doing it forever.
When we went to Myrtle, I enjoyed that. It was something different.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
But it's still cold in January in Myrtle Beach.
Found that out. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important, I think, to get out and play against teams you don't know.
Yeah.
Play against hitters you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get out there and play you know, because you're playing more of a world's game anyway. When you go out there and you're playing against people you have never played against before, you don't know if this guy's gonna try to push first pitch and then pull. You like, it's just I think it's very important to do that.
That's what's been cool
And
about me moving down here playing leagues, and I played in the turkey tournament this weekend. Nobody knows who the fuck I am.
Where'd you go, Valdosta, for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Pretty good?
Good. We won it. So I played with Baby Lee, who he pitched on True or Epic this year. True.
Okay.
And then their second baseman, Greg Walters. And then we played with a bunch of D guys.
Awesome.
Their team was Old Money. They just got bumped to C. And
those guys.
We went 0-2 in pool, and we won 3-0 in bracket. We beat a team of 6 conference guys the first game. Yeah. Then we beat the LOB guys, and then we beat some of the primetime guys.
In case you don't know, the fuck Old Money is because they knocked us out of Worlds. So
tell you what, they got some good players, man.
They do, but I got to tell you, Are you looking at this right now? Look at Hickey. You got yourself a setup now. Look at you got headphones and everything going, baby. Look at you.
I already don't like it.
What's up,
Hick? What is up?
What's going on, fellas?
Man, it's great to have you back.
This is so my wife doesn't hear J-Ro talking about drag shows.
That's the like least tame stuff he talks about.
Yeah, at this point, he
talked about feeding ducks all across the East Coast earlier.
She said you're a tool. That's what she did. I am.
Hey, well, it's Tuesday night. It's 8:40. We're talking softball on a podcast. Of course, we're tools. Like, hey, how'd that emergency meeting go?
It's still going on. I jumped off because I was lined up with you guys. I don't know.
We'll give you our vote.
It was heated. I gotta wait till we take the vote. I thought I was gonna come on with breaking news. I thought it would be a quick thing, but no.
It never is. Well,
no such luck. Yeah.
Got to tell you, last week we broke the news here. In case you haven't noticed yet, we are joined by John Hickey, the Massachusetts USSSA State Director, which is a cute title. However, the more important one, John Hickey, a 2024 USSSA Hall of Fame inductee. Congratulations, Hick.
Thanks,
That's awesome.
I appreciate
Congrats,
it.
Hick.
I appreciate it, guys. Absolutely.
That is, I mean, I can't think of anyone else who deserves it more. As a director, I've said it a million times. You've helped me with my teams, with kind of direction of what we should do, and then just your events. Your events are always ahead of schedule. Somehow, always ahead of schedule. Which is like, as a softball player, you tell your wife, championships at 7, right? And I want to be in the championship, so I'll be home by 9. I want to win. I want to win.
Midnight,
and you don't get, you get home midnight, 1 a.m. With you, it's earlier. You get home, earlier than that. I mean, it's just that's just a small piece of what you do for the community. So, congratulations.
Thank you. Being a director is just being the facilitator. So it's an honor, an award that really speaks about the people that I surround myself with, and it's everything. It's the umpires, it's the players, the grounds crew, literally everyone that is a part of it makes it successful. And when one of those pieces doesn't carry their weight, it disintegrates quickly. So that's really, I'm happy for our state. I'm happy for our region. It's not really about me as an individual. It's about our region, about our area, and getting recognition for what we do. And I'm proud of our people, our directors, our umpires, and everyone that's involved. And so it's nice. It's nice to be recognized for sure.
I mean, we pump your tires. Everybody talks about John Hickey, how great you are. Like, it's such a well-deserved thing, and I'm not surprised that was your answer. Thinking everybody else, and that's exactly who you are. And I think that's what makes, being around you, playing with teams in your state or playing at your tournaments, and just, knowing you, that's the great thing. It's not you, it's a community, and it's the effort and just trying to grow the thing in the area, softball in the area. And I think, you've done a hell of a job of that. You see a lot of increased numbers, especially on the women's side. You guys have done a hell of a job of continuing to grow that. So well deserved. And I think the boys already decided that we're coming down for the Hall of Fame induction next year. We're just going to broadcast the damn thing.
That'd be great.
Forget letters that UTRIP sends us.
From outside the building, we have J-Ro.
That's another whole fiasco that I got into with Dustin a little bit. It's just it's bizarre, man. It's bizarre. Like I actually touched base with Sean Melvin, who runs Slow Pitch at the convention. And he's like, yeah, the plan is to use J-Ro quite a bit next year. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's great. Like,
cool.
Good.
Why the fuck did we send a cease and desist? Like, anyway, I don't.
Just reach out and say, hey,
yeah,
you can't do this, but also, would you like to? Because I mean, we've seen
got him by the balls.
Yeah, we've seen the streams without J-Ro, and we've seen the streams with J-Ro, and unanimously, much better.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to find the type of energy and excitement for the game anywhere else. Anywhere.
Definitely
It's just not people in our Northeast area. It's everyone now. It's everyone all over the country.
Right.
Everyone says the same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. But the thing that bugged me about
that's why you're wearing this coat.
A little chilly, and hey, I told you I got some bevs tonight. No, I think the thing that disappointed me with that, and I mean, Hickey, I think you're not going to be surprised with this. It's the same thing that you're doing is shedding lights in this area. It was a chance for us to take people that were playing at a high level or going away and playing different things. It just gave an opportunity to showcase Alyssa, Derek, Tab, Dustin playing
100%.
down in the conference teams. Like, man, if we made money, I wouldn't be working at fucking 9:00 in the morning calling people trying to place them in jobs.
I think they should have took the exposure for the goodness. I mean, there's tons of. I know that they weren't paying for the streams, but there was tons of people watching it. They should have. They should have ran that.
And Mike, we actually had the conversation because J-Ro did not want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
J-Ro did not want to do any of the streams, and I was like, it was actually OC and me were like, do the streams. We'll let them say that we can't do it.
Yeah, officially.
Yeah, and I think about the people's parents who aren't going to go and
that don't know how.
Don't know how to go to get a UTRIP live, but they have Facebook so they can catch their kids watching their or catch their kids playing at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I like where it went, and I hope that you get to do more of it next year. I'm excited for you.
Thanks. Well, without Hickey, without a guy like you, Hickey, you make the game fun. You set games up and you help us out, like a lot of people have, but you've helped us out and get into some great spots. And I guess let's dive into this though. How was the convention? How did it go last week with everything? Everybody's actually this year. People probably aren't crying too much about the bumps.
Show us the new bump list. Show us all the guys who got bumped to see.
Just 6 random teams from the Northeast that weren't expecting it.
So the issue, and full disclosure, the issue with the bump list coming out before it was completely edited is the fault of the NCC. So I'm not going to say that it wasn't, in myself included. Some of us took longer to vote and to turn teams in, because the Worlds now happen in October rather than September. We needed more time, and so we were told to have everything in for October 1st. And the reason that is because in California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, they want to start 2024 on December 1st. So IT needs the month of November to get everything ready, all the data, players being PRVs being changed, all that type of stuff, setting up the new season. So in many areas of the country, we did not turn the list in on time. And so they went with, and I forwarded you guys some of the key points. You could, if you want to throw that on there, you can. I mean, it's.
I mentioned it, and I did not realize. Jero was like, "I don't know if we were supposed to know that," but
I did. I talked about it. I just didn't want to put it up on the screen in case we shouldn't.
So I'll be honest with you. So I was the one that led the discussion on classification at the convention for slow pitch. So those slides. You can put them up if you want, if you have them.
Well, and that's. But you talked about this last year.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I
mean, I gave you a general idea of what we're looking at.
Hickey, is this the second year in a row that there's been like a big mix-up on the bump list?
Yeah.
Is it because the new site is such a pain in the ass?
That's part of it, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is that IT is really looking to have everything buttoned up for November 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that's prior to the convention. So
yeah,
we really need Worlds, and let's face it, when we get in the room at the convention, that's when the best arguments are made.
Mm-hmm.
So if we as the NCC look to bump a team, the state director has a chance to see us face to face and say, you guys are crazy, what are you doing? And give us examples. And that's why you see teams came off of the list, and so that should never happen. It shouldn't, and it creates a shitstorm for us at the NCC and also the state directors. So I have to apologize to Ryan and Heath in New Hampshire and Maine specifically, because I didn't get the information to my boss in a timely fashion. So he released the list prior to us having a complete vote and actually edit it and remove teams as we see fit. And Dustin, I know you mess around with it a little bit. J-Ro, I saw the graphic. I did try to watch a little bit of your guys' show from last week, and you had some graphics up there.
We're high tech,
and those were on point. I mean, that's good stuff. You have some of the metrics and what we're looking at. So there are a lot of teams on the bubble, and so although in the current breakdown, New York and New Jersey are not part of my jurisdiction, so to speak, I worked with them, and that was another part of the delay. So I was working with Vinny and Jim to regulate those teams and make sure that it matches up with Connecticut, because they're all going to play at the Plex. And then Mass and New Hampshire are going to go to Connecticut. And so those teams are going to play each other. So I really feel like they all need to be on an even playing field. And so that metric slides to certain areas of the country in terms of power rating, the in-class record, all the things that we've listed in the past. Who are your wins against? Like, I don't know. I mean, hey, we'll be brutally honest. You guys were throwing names out. Cupcakes. Look at who they beat. Look at the winning percentage.
Their winning percentage is 449. I'm looking at it right now.
Of the teams that they beat. So, I mean, they were beating teams
that weren't 500 teams.
500 to Dustin. You hit it right on the head. So you guys were, Snides, you were on point with a bunch of the stuff you said last week. You were right on the money. So it's it's not perfect. It's not an exact science. We really do our best. And certain areas of the country are going to be, more difficult. They have a bigger, if you have 60 D team, like Texas every year bumps, they crush it. Like if you look through from 2014 to 2020, every year he was just pounding teams, pounding teams, going up and up. And everybody's like, well, why is that? Well, that's the metric, and that's what works for his area. And he was looking to push teams up.
Yeah, they have a lot more teams in that area.
100%.
So one of the things I wanted to jump in real quick, J-Ro, I always look at the D division because the D division should have the D and E should have the most bumps from D and E up to the next level. This year, for right now, we have 2, and those are the 2 world champions. Did that make a play? Was that part of the part of the decision of which teams to bump because there were 2 champions from our area? Was it like, well, we're not going to bump these guys, or I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. No,
I guess what I'm saying is if those teams didn't win, do you think we would see
More?
a top 5 in power rating get bumped up?
No.
Okay.
No. It was an overall, and so when and I'll be truthful with you, when I started to really deep dive into cupcakes, I had to open up A and D, and then Vinny had to open up a couple of the New York teams, and we started playing the measuring game. Okay, what if we bump this guy, we have to bump this guy. If we bump them, we have to bump them. They were so tightly packed. And I know as you guys went to broadcast last week, I had not sat down with the rest of the NCC on Premiere, so they were still on the list. They are no longer on the list if you take another look. And so to them, last Tuesday at 8:00 to see Cupcakes and A&D come off and they're still on, those guys were probably out of their minds.
It was funny though.
Vlad gets another shot. Imagine that.
So I'm just gonna be straightforward with you on Vlad's team. The effort and that goes into reclassing and what we have to do to vet every single player and then determine who the upper players are going to be, who the elite tags are going to be, and then who the D tags are going to be, to do all that work and then bump them up when they're fringe. It was, they were fringe. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They were on the fringe. And so it didn't make sense for us to bump them up after just reclassing them last January, really. Yeah,
so
they had their chance.
You do a lot of work.
They screwed it up.
And just watch it switch right back.
That's what happens when you have Kyle Pelvicious on your team.
Oh, that kid absolutely wails it, doesn't he?
He really does. When he can hit
smashes it.
When he hits the one in the middle, he hits it hard. He wails it.
So,
but
Kyle, do not put in an appeal this year, Kyle.
Oh, it's coming.
You are denied.
He's trying to get the fucking D for Christ's sake.
I think he was off the roster for Worlds just so he could drop down.
It don't matter anymore.
No.
It's funny, I gotta tell you, looking at the bumps, looking at the D, I think you guys got it pretty damn close to right. Cupcakes, they had a good beast. They beat up on some teams around here. They never made it south of fucking Mass until maybe the Firecracker. They never played south. Premiere on Broadway, kind of the same thing. The only team, and I know it's New York and it's not your jurisdiction, and we were talking about it, I brought it up earlier, is Young Guns. That team actually surprised me just based on history. I'm sure, again, you pull up teams that they beat, they're very similar to probably A and D if I have to look at it in the sense of everything was pretty close. Everything's pretty much right on point.
Yeah.
And then from an outside perspective, you look at it and you're like, okay, they're above that 1150 mark. I feel like that 1150 mark, without it being said that this is what the bump level is, that's usually, I feel like that's usually pretty close to where it is.
Anybody over 1100 should expect to be
In the conversation.
evaluated closely. Yes. Yeah.
Did the massive number we had in the last year or so, does that also come into effect of slowing down? Okay.
So I was going to ask that too, Coco, and as well as, I don't know if the power rating, the actual like math behind the power rating has changed, but it seems like things are like in the last couple of years, and this could be because of the last 2 or 3 years, or since 2016 really, where it's been this push to not push, but get people playing where they should be. And now the power ratings are all kind of coming down every year almost.
Yeah, they are. We, like 2017, 2018, super aggressive. Look, the NCC was created, and there was a difference between the NCC and the NSC. Now they're combined, but in 2017 they were two separate committees, and so the NCC was created because the state directors were not classifying their teams properly. I mean, that's the reason that we exist. That's the reason it was created. The state directors really have been buying in the last 3 or 4 years, and so we have the trust level is a lot higher, and so the recommendation of the state director holds a lot more weight in 2023 than it did in 2017. So that's another reason you see these numbers coming down. The amount of teams being bumped, the levels, the power rating levels, dropping down, and really trying to give the state director more of a say on what happens to their teams.
I think you really see that this year. I think you see it. There's, when the initial list came out, everybody, we all got the text, and Hickey, I'm sure you got fucking plenty, but I just kind of laughed. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, we've gone over this plenty of times. Like, we all know what the criteria is. Do a little, like, instead of flying off the handlebars and messaging somebody, just do a little bit of research. I got to tell you, one division next year with the way the bumps have gone and just the way the talent's shaking out, men's C is continuing to grow, and I really like the direction that's going. Women's B, the women's B division now with the Sharks getting bumped. Whoo! That's going to be a
bloodbath next year. It's going to be good in our area.
This area is very, very strong.
If you look at the Sharks, they play the open schedule anyway. I mean, let's face it. There's not in New England. There's not a real discrepancy in the tournaments that are offered. So, JB and Paulie do a couple things down there, and Mary Cavataro, they do offer a couple lower level things. We didn't even register. I don't even have the two D teams from Massachusetts both registered out of Connecticut. So I didn't even have any women's D. I didn't have any women's C. So
this Good Time was Rhode Island, right?
Yeah, Good Time registered in Rhode Island, and they're a mix of a couple different
Fall
states.
River kind of,
The Reapers, another team that has players from multiple states. So they didn't register. They didn't register in Mass.
Hickey, do you think there's a possibility to get a little Northeast Conference for the women's? All honesty, it would take a lot of effort from you directors and a lot of people in this area. But you think we could do it?
So like a team or like a Northeast
like
conference?
a Northeast Conference.
So they had one last year.
Eight, yeah. Well, I mean a real one, like
Okay.
eight to 10 good events.
Oh, okay.
Like you pay $2,000, goes towards the same kind of thing, like a smaller thing. You think it could be possible?
I don't, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, we've talked about it here.
The funding.
They're not flexible on their schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think we've talked about it on here, Hick, where they kind of start late anyway. Like the bigger tournaments really start to kick off later in the summer. I don't know if that's because like there's coaching or they're playing
a
college
lot of women,
or whatever like that.
Yeah, a lot of women that play are teachers, they're coaches. So they're involved in high school and college sports, through May, some even into June if they're in state tournaments. And the women's game tends to want their schedule set way in advance. They let's face it, they have more responsibilities than men. The ones that are mothers, setting up for their children. I mean, they flat out do. I mean, ask them; they'll tell you.
You're right.
So,
that's a great shot right there.
they want the schedule. They want the schedule early. So, and they're not flexible to change. And then when you add in the co-ed, there's just not enough open weekends. I had 2 events last year that didn't make.
Yeah, I think I saw one of them that didn't even have a single team in it.
I had one that
which the year prior you had a ton of, what I mean? And
Bololi and Ripett signed up. And then the other one, nobody signed up. So we moved it to Leominster, and I think Lori got 5 teams in it. So they don't. Some teams don't want to travel. That
sucks.
Which I get at times.
They don't want to play. They don't want to play in Taunton. They don't like the field. Ryan's tried it in New Hampshire. There's just. So, I mean, I'm getting long-winded, but no, my answer is no. I don't think it's possible. I've done stuff in the past. I tried some. Brian and I did a little conference thing a couple years ago, and we did an all tournament. We did an all conference team, and I did it in 2017, and then I did it in 22. We did an all-star game. It's just tough. There's just not enough teams, not enough players.
That all-star game, I was thinking about it. Like, I loved that. Was fun. We had a blast at it.
Yeah, that was good.
Hick, you did a great job with it. You and Lori, it was awesome. On the back on Snide's conference, like a Northeast conference. Thoughts? Do you think we could get a women's conference event in the Northeast? But I know they travel a lot together, where it's men's and women's. We got into it last night.
Just based on his on the awesome. Previous previous comment. I mean,
thanks for taking that question, because I was gonna
get the women's conference up here.
I just don't think you're gonna personally. From someone who has nothing to do with the conference, knows not much about the conference. I don't think you're gonna see a random only women's conference event happening in the North.
New Jersey tried it, and they got 5 teams.
But
yeah,
I have Hall of Fame inductee that could be helping.
That has nothing to do with it, buddy.
It should.
I wish
should.
it did, but
you want me to get emotional? I'll do it right now for this one.
I remember, to Snide's point, like I remember Jim Pillar calling me saying, where are they? And I said, they're not coming, Jim. And he was just like, why?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, buddy. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't speak for them. This year was frustrating, to say the least. With that, I mean, I don't see, the Florida teams coming up. I don't. Would a chaos come up because Tab and Alyssa play up here? Possibly. I don't see the other big teams coming up. Just like for the men, like it's
You might see a couple of A teams come, but
I hate that the major in Connecticut's gone.
It was so much fun, wasn't
Oh,
it?
it was the best.
It
People
was-
don't
oh my
realize how
God.
good it was.
It was. Oof.
And I was playing D then, and it was a great time.
you guys just keep going on and on about it. Just
Yeah.
I mean,
That's what I'm telling
we'll
you.
just stay over here and just be like,
I
that
mean,
would have
The
been
best
cool.
tournament ever. We can't run it again though. Never ever.
It
So-
was
It
unbelievable.
Well, so Hick, why couldn't we run it again?
So the conference is obviously going to go where a majority of the teams can get there without having enormous cost for travel. So where do your conference players come from? So that's the dynamic. The Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Cincinnati, Tennessee. So that pocket, Texas is another pocket, California. So you're going to have events go to where as many people can drive or take a really short flight and get there. And then the ones that, like Kent, Washington, has been a duel for how many years now, Mike? Like probably 7, 8. Like they made that a duel because people weren't going to fly to the Pacific Northwest.
It's a big travel, yeah.
For one event,
and it's dwindled. It's dwindled down.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't even know if it's going to be a duel next year.
It is. They didn't announce a schedule, but I know that Evansville is coming back.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Smoky, Vegas, the Florida duel, and then Kent, Washington. So those ones I know are set, and then they're waiting. They're waiting on facilities to confirm and sign the contract for
because Washington has to be in a similar spot as us.
It's
kind of
awful.
in the Northeast.
It's worse.
It's worse.
Look up a flight to Seattle, Washington.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, you think about those teams go to Vegas. So if teams are going to Vegas, tell me why they're not going to Seattle, Washington.
It's actually probably cheaper to fly to Seattle than Vegas.
Really?
To be honest, it is. Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Even on Southwest.
Vegas is outrageous. So we looked at
Vegas
it, for the Patriots, and it was like we looked at, and I said it was like $700-800 a ticket. It was like,
it used to never be like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
It's costing us
$9.
It's $1,400 for Amanda and I are going to Germany in December. It's costing us $1,400 to go to Vegas or go to even Charleston, South Carolina. It was going to cost us, $1,100. That's why when everybody's talking about going to Barcelona, they're like, "Oh, it's so expensive. It's so expensive." I'm like, it's the same price, pretty much.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. With that being said, Snyder, you're in the conference. Hickey, you've run a team in the conference. With these rising,
I broadcast in the conference once.
J-Ro.
I watched the conference.
I watched you. I was at the stadium watching you. Yeah. Do you guys? What do you guys think about the future of the conference for? I mean, short term this year, and then long term, say 3 years from now.
It's rough, man. I'll speak honestly. I've been talking to my coach. They're based out of Michigan. We've been looking at players that can drive, because I mean we were an A team. We're going to be an A team again next year. The budget is nothing. It's small. So the ability to get guys that can drive to 6 tournaments and fly to 3 or 4, you take that guy instead of the guy that's going to cost you 8 flights.
Right.
Is the guy that's going to cost you 8 flights a little bit better? Yeah. But you're getting a guy that's going to drive to him. My flights from Florida for the year is probably $3,000. Just flights.
I'm going to spend that. I'm going to spend that in myself going to Challenge Cup, Worlds, probably Worlds for another. You know what I mean? Like just traveling. Like I'll spend that on myself for a year.
Yeah, I mean, I drive to the Duel, I drive to the Smoky, I drive to Myrtle Beach, and then everything else is a flight. These guys from Michigan, Ohio, they drive to everything besides. They drove to the Smoky. They drive to everything besides like the Worlds in Texas.
What's that drive for them to the Smoky? That's got to be
not bad. Ohio to Smoky is not
10
bad.
to 13 hours.
in Michigan, right?
Michigan, yeah. 10 to 13 hours, I think it is for them.
That's why I never went
an overnight, yeah.
What's $100, $150 in gas to
right
$300 a guy when there's 4 guys in the car?
Mm-hmm.
It's not looking good for the conference. I talked to DW a little bit last week too. After we were talking a little bit, and it's a sad state of softball right now of what the world's coming to.
We just keep driving sponsors away. So
yeah, that is a huge thing. Huge in 2023, right?
Yeah.
As society becomes more and more self-absorbed and selfish, and people just end up walking away, saying, fuck it. It's
bad. There's no reason to sponsor a men's softball team, especially if the guys aren't going to appreciate it. A thank you goes a long way.
Yeah.
So about how long do you think it's been since you've seen that switch happening?
2 years.
So it's that recent?
Mm-hmm. It's been worse in the last 2 years. The money that people expect to play an underhand softball game is ridiculous. If they give it to you, sure. If they offer it to you, sure. You got guys that are asking for and expecting it. If you miss work and you need the money, it's a different story. But if you're asking for crazy amounts of money, that's what's ruining the game.
Was this money there before, and that's why guys think that money's out there?
I don't know if you want to agree with me on this, Hickey, but it's half sponsor, half player's fault.
Okay.
Some sponsors were throwing out numbers to guys in the last couple of years that were Major League Baseball players aren't making that kind of money.
Right.
Well, we were seeing rumors of guys making over $100,000.
That's not rumors, bud.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like we're not in it, right?
When I first started, those are the numbers that I would see.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. This is everything from E to major is all amateur.
Yeah.
As far as I.
Yeah. Hey, if someone wants to give you $400 a weekend and they're going to give it to you, okay. But if you're going to ask for it, that's where I don't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
There was a time when it was Travis Resmondo, Dan Smith, Woody Bell. Those 3 guys, in the early 2000s, and everyone else was sort of on the same, the A team. Remember, AA was lost for a little while, so the A teams, they were covering everybody's expenses, and maybe the guys were getting $200. I mean, it was not. And then it exploded, and when other big sponsors came in, and you started to have bidding wars over players, and loyalty goes out the window, and then it gets crazy. Then AA comes back, and now I mean, those guys want to get paid, and so the A guys and Mike plays with these guys. He'll tell you. I mean, they say, well, if the AA guy's getting it, I can get it too. And
you got guys all the way down to C asking for money.
Ridiculous.
Probably even lower.
That's ridiculous.
To play local. I mean,
I ask for money. Nobody gives it to me, but I just put my hand.
Don't ask. Get out.
You're entertaining, though. You're entertaining.
Well, but Hick, here's Snides even. Here's the question. It's the chicken or the egg. What came first? I get that sponsors are leaving. I understand why sponsors are leaving, and you see it at every level. And you see players getting greedier. Who created that, and how do we correct it at this point? Because you hear the numbers, you see the money on both sides, sponsor level, player level. How the fuck do we get it so it's not where you're getting paid more to play than a AA ball player?
You need to have these sponsors sit down and agree with each other that this is what we're doing, this is how it's going to be, and we're not going to turn right or left. We're going to stay straight. We're going to agree this is what the upper guy is going to do, this is what this guy is going to do, and these guys are getting everything else just covered. They need
Would you
to
say
all,
would you say that they're like they implement like a salary cap or something?
it's too hard to do that.
Yeah,
but
that wouldn't
but
be,
like
yeah.
if the top guy is going to make 20 grand, that's the highest. That's the top. No one's making more than 20 grand. They got to stick to it and go from there until someone does that or they agree to do that.
And then it's like someone's like, yeah, I'll sign with you for a 20 grand contract, and then you give me, 100 under the table.
NLI deal.
You know what I mean? Because
But that's where the sponsors have to sit down and they have to. They're going to be able to fix this game, not us.
Yeah.
When you guys had Brett on, he would have been perfect for this conversation. The teams at the top of the food chain, they really control it. I mean, when you have the money like a Competitive Edge or MPT, Carucci, Dan Smith. Dan's not in anymore, but Travis, those people with big payrolls. What is the incentive? If you're at the top of the heap, what's the incentive for them to say, oh, okay, we won't spend, and they lose some of their players? So, like you said, the chicken or the egg, J-Ro, it's going to be a tough nut to crack. I don't know that there's an easy solution. And like Mike said, 50% is the player fault, 50% is the sponsor fault. There's no snapping your fingers and having this thing solved.
Hey, and it's great for some of the guys that can make some serious coin and make a living off of playing softball. But it's also nice for some of the guys that can make a couple bucks, for a weekend. It's also nice for some sponsors when, like, listen, I'm going to shout out A&D Plumbing. He started out as a great local league sponsor, made his money back, got his name out there, started getting more and more jobs. And it's great to see somebody like that. But now I was talking to Jimmy Thurman with All-American. I'm like, he's like, he's a big sponsor. He's like, it's just giving me a lot of opportunities in life. And I want to give back, I can, and fortunate enough, but it's interesting kind of hearing the entire gamut throughout the sponsorship and the different thought processes behind it.
I think if you're sponsoring the team locally and you're getting a kickback from the sponsorship, then you're doing right. But if you're just sponsoring the sponsor, it's tough to see just the people that don't appreciate these guys, what they've been doing for you for years.
We get to play fucking a fucking hobby on a weekend because somebody else has given money or given us opportunities. We got to go to the PIF because Keith Bololi said, hey, come up to the PIF and look how that's, you know what I mean? Like a fucking thing, a little bit of gratitude. And that's why, like Hickey, guys like you, the state directors, it's a thankless job. We all know it. No one's going to say it to you because I don't want to mess around with Big John Hickey, but like, it's a thankless job. So like, thank you for that. A fucking thank you goes a long way.
Yeah. Buy your sponsor a beer, for crying out loud. Like,
and I'm cheap and I bought Keith a beer.
the thing is that like, Coco, this, we always ran our team. Like if we got half the amount that we needed for our budget from a sponsor, we would either be in there all the time or we're footing the bill for everything.
Right.
So one of the first couple of times, I've only had it happen a few times, but like a flight in a hotel is paid for. And I'm like, this is like, I'm going to go out of my way multiple times to thank this person who is sponsoring this team.
Yeah.
I
don't understand how anyone would be like, fuck that guy, they're not giving me money, like that kind of thing. Like,
stop. You don't know. I had somebody today tell me they were offended by Happy Turkey Week. You don't know why people wouldn't say fucking thank you to a sponsor. Like,
the thing is when you do anything for that year, no matter if it's you're running a tournament, you're doing a fundraiser, just putting that sponsor's name out there is it should be done right away. You know what I mean? You're running the indoor tournament. We run indoor tournaments all year to raise money. The sponsors' names are on the flyer, no matter if they're doing anything for the indoor tournament or not.
Right.
They help us out through the whole entire year.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I think, Dustin, those early couple years, I think the way that I was always looking at it, if River gave us $1,500, I wasn't surprised if we were going in there and spending half of that. because
And
it was
then-
still $750 that we didn't have to spend. So
Right,
if I
and
can,
then- and then-
we can
and
give some
then-
of that back, bam, easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, I mean, we went even a little bit further. So we had like the league after draft party there. Like
Yep.
where like,
Yep.
I don't know, 30 guys showed up. It was just like little simple things like that where they see you, okay, they're actually coming in. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
just that's more than a thank you at that
Yeah.
point too.
How many
Not-
guys
But
on our
all
team
you have
use
to do is thank them. And I mean, these people are using their money so that you can sleep in a hotel and get to the tournament for free.
We all went through the same HVAC for one season because they gave us money. Like
Yeah.
they guaranteed they made it just off of our team back, but it's easier to spend money as a
Right.
softball player on my house than it is being like, I'm going away again.
You want to know? It's funny moving down here. 95% of my clothes are softball clothes. Me wearing Big Dog and AZ roofing stuff down here. Just people are like, oh, what is this? What is this?
Yep.
It's
100%.
it's that simple. You never know when someone's going to ask you a question that's going to get those people business.
Well, it's funny. Like, I mean, I'm in sales. I'm
Mhm.
in recruiting. So if you need a job, give me a buzz. Marketing, preferably. But like, I'm always looking to talk. Like when I'm talking to you, it's like, all right, hey, at an airport, what do you do? Like, oh, hey, I know a guy. Like now, when somebody's
Mhm.
like, do you know somebody? It's like, oh yeah, Hickey introduced me to X, who runs a plumbing business in fucking wherever, Northborough.
If you've ever been in a networking group, you always want to be the guy who has a guy, right?
Mhm.
No, and that's a big thing. So, take care of your fucking sponsors, and I'm not surprised they're running away. Hick, what big rule changes? We were talking
Yeah, do we have
about
any rule
earlier today.
changes?
Do we have
Let's
anything
get into
official
it.
yet that you can talk to, or this
Yeah.
is still rumors part 2?
Yeah. So the
Alleg-
courtesy
Allegedly.
runner. Did you guys hear about that one?
We did.
So we
Kinda-
went over it, but we don't. I don't think we had the.
Sure.
Yeah,
so
we went over it.
courtesy-
I don't think we had the exact
the
rule on it.
courtesy runner is now anyone on the roster as opposed to anyone in the lineup.
Needed that 5 years ago.
Is it
No,
just
that's what
for? Is it so they're going to have a pitcher runner in it, or is it just for
So no, the conference rule is still
just the conference rule?
the conference rule.
Did you
right,
guys
yeah.
vote on that?
So the National Slow Pitch Committee voted on the courtesy runner as it was proposed
Mm-hmm.
to be anyone on the roster,
Okay.
and it was approved unanimously.
Yeah, smart.
But nobody proposed that the conference rule be put in to the regular rule book. That wasn't proposed, so
Okay.
there was no vote on it.
Mhm.
Every state director gets an email, generally mid-August, and we tell them like by September 15th, any proposed rule changes or bylaw changes, we would like to have them. And then we meet in September in Viera at the end of September, and then we go for 3 days and we hash out all the rules, and then we present them in November at the convention.
Hick,
So-
what was if you don't mind me asking, what was your biggest rule? Did you have one that you submitted, and what was it?
I did not submit any. One that I'm glad went in, and I've been talking about it for a few years, and someone else submitted it, is, and you guys may have dealt with this, the foul tip as opposed to a foul ball.
Mhm.
So in the old USSSA rule book, a foul tip directly back to the catcher was an out on say, first pitch.
I liked it was athletic.
Foul tip, and if the catcher, if it went directly into his glove, the umpire would ring you up. And so I'm going to say 2010, maybe 2009 or 2010, they eliminated the language in the rule and made it so that it would have to be on the second strike, which wouldn't matter anyway because that was a dead ball for the longest time. That since has come out, but we had no wording in that the differentiation between a foul tip and a foul ball. So now in the 24 rule book, it will clearly state that the foul ball needs to go above the batter's head.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like
see, for some reason, I had always heard that it was above the shoulder.
That's
Yeah.
what I
It was
thought
above
was
the shoulder. It was out.
right. So it was above the shoulder in the ASA book for forever, and might still be in the ASA book. We went to over the head, so it's over the batter's head for 24, and the foul tip is just what it is, a foul tip.
And so I had known the foul tip rule, but I never knew that they had kind of removed it without telling anybody that it had to be on the side. So I used to love it, be like, catch it. And if someone caught it, I'd be like, that's an out, and hope that, I guess me wrong, hoping the umpire didn't know the rule changed.
So the older umpires, and by older, I mean guys probably north of 60, 65, the older umpires had continued to call that. So you would go someplace, and it's more so in leagues, your tournament umpires really aren't calling that, but you'd play in league night and someone would foul one back and the guy would go, "You're out." And everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, dude? Oh, you're out. It's in the book." Like, it's not in the book. It hasn't been in the book for 15 years. What are you, fucking now? But there were a lot of guys calling it. And it wasn't really a point of emphasis under the old UIC, which was Rick Robertson. And then when Doc Beckwell became the UIC, we started to have conversation about it. And Doc said, "Oh, I'll write something up." And then he moved on, but he continued to work on the rules. And we finally got the thing straightened out this year. The other one, which is crazy, and I didn't know this. If you put a gun to my head, I would have been a dead man. Did you know that in the book, that hit and sit was nowhere in the book, that you did not run out a home run?
Really?
It wasn't.
So
in the book.
you actually had to run
So
the.
everybody's like, "Oh, you don't have to run out a home run," or the debate of.
Do you think they
one-
put? You think they put it in and just never wrote it in the rules?
It wasn't in.
They were just like, let's get this over and done with.
And for a number of years, the 4-base award was you had to run out a 4-base award. So if it tipped off the glove,
You still see people doing it.
it
happened to us at ASA.
I called for
It
someone
happened
to have
a
to
couple
do that
times.
this year in league.
Because we were like, we don't know. It happened so rarely that you're like, all right, let's just do it just in case. Because if they call it and the guy calls it an out, then that really sucks.
So 2024 hit and sit is in the book. Home run or 4-base award doesn't matter.
For the first time.
You don't run it out on either one. You don't run it out. So there's no appeals from, missing a base or out of the baseline or any bullshit like that.
Have ground rule doubles?
For ground rule double?
Go to second.
Do you have to touch first?
Yeah. You're already at
Usually
first.
you're fucking.
You might not.
Listen, I'm a
J-Ro, you watched those. I watched you 3 times in one game. You just
I'm a
watched
slow
from the
fucker. I'm
box.
still hard out the box
J-Ro?
going in at 2. I've already touched.
You thought you hit home runs. They didn't make it. I watched
J-Ro
you.
went from the plate right to second base?
No. I'm saying he wasn't already at first base. Because he wasn't
Corey's
that
had
bad.
too much to drink tonight. He's not drinking
That's
his
not true.
juice.
He had a
Not
ground
yet.
rule double,
I'm
and then
gonna
he
pee
did
and
a
get 2 more,
slide
though.
into second, and then he did one of his little.
Yeah, my little dance.
I missed the beginning. Coco, did J-Ro give you what you drinking, baby? Did he give you that? Or, huh?
Not with a baby, but
No,
I don't know.
all
My
right,
internet
okay.
probably wasn't
All right.
working.
Okay.
I got excited because we have Snides now too.
man.
So I got all excited.
This is
Hickey,
amazing.
you're gonna last week. You're probably only a quarter of the way through, but I think we're in about hour 2, just starting hour 2:15. We're like, Hickey is gonna love this episode.
I did see it. I did see that.
I played home.
So I made it 2 hours. I didn't see the last hour yet, but
We still
I
got
did
one
make
more
it.
for
That
you,
was
baby.
awesome. That was awesome.
I tell you, we've been since the World Series. The boys have been going a little bit longer each
Love it.
and every
Love it.
episode.
Love
Hickey,
it.
did they talk at all about moving the bases back?
Ooh, good one.
No.
Oh, come
No.
on.
No.
I would
How about
love to
moving
see
them
it.
in?
Yeah, I would
75.
love.
Yeah,
75.
I'd love to see
you gotta
first
give
at about.
you got to give the
60.
infielders a chance on a bobble.
I would like to see that. Hick, here's a question. I think coming out of last year, there's a lot of hullabaloo, if you will, about just toeing the rubber and then moving from 220s to 240s, not grandfathering in the 220s where It was actually never in the rule book.
Yeah.
What how did that work out this year? Towing the rubber at all levels and moving to the 240s. Did that work out how you Trip expected or was hoping?
I can't speak for the entire country. I can tell you for our events, and we went to testing all bats. So to me, the bats were the bigger issue than the distance of the mound.
100%.
And I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but that's what I see. So here's what they did. They had Toyota Motors run some testing. And, Snides, I know you're involved with Anarchy. You probably have some background on this. The manufacturers have some of this data. And they couldn't prove that a pitcher pitching the ball from 56 feet, which is 6 feet behind the mound, with at a lower hump, so the trajectory is not going to be the same from 6 feet back in order to reach the plate. So the pitchers are throwing the ball flatter and faster from 56 feet than where they are from 50 feet. So they couldn't come up with conclusive evidence that it was safer for the pitcher at 56 than at 50. Now, common sense, everybody goes, what are you talking about? Of course it's safer. There's 6 more feet of reaction time. But they don't take into account the speed in which the ball comes in, which also affects the speed in which the ball comes out. Think about a guy that throws a changeup, or, a knuckle curve at 78 miles an hour, or the guy that throws gas that's 98. What is the different exit velo on those? I think that, you have some issues with that. So there was no conclusive evidence, and they felt like putting the pitcher on the rubber gave the umpire, and the umpires group were the biggest proponents of putting the pitcher on the rubber.
Yeah,
that came from the umpire.
Because it just makes it easier. At
that 6
point,
feet got dangerous. You got guys going 8 feet back.
10.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
In league night, 12.
Yeah.
I mean, they were pitching from second base. With one umpire. Like I say to my umpires, and they look at me and go, "What do you want me to get, a fucking tape measure?" Like, yeah. What do you
go out and make a line right behind?
You're doing the game by yourself. Some guys do make the line.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And then the pitcher goes out and rubs out the line, and then the ump puts it in again.
I've never seen that.
Without two, without two umpires, it's really tough to.
Pitchers never try to get an advantage hit. Come on, you know that.
I think you have the advantage. It's coming in underhand.
I think it was a good balls. I think it was a good rule change for everybody.
It made it easier. It made it simple, right? You have to toe the rubber. The guy, because it's the call, like Hick was saying, it's the call for the umpire in the field. If there's not an umpire in the field, it's incredibly hard to see if that guy's actually touching the rubber or not, or how far back he is.
He's to the side of the rubber.
Know what I mean? If he's to the side, it's easier for the guy behind the dish to see. But yeah, I mean, it just makes it makes it more universal. You know what I mean? Well, everyone's in the region of the rubber anyway. Right. So I mean, if he's not touching it, if he's off by 3 inches, like it's still
that's
coming
a huge
in
amount of measurement.
3 inches can be a lot at times.
Well, here's the other thing is that it was oh shit, where's it going? But I didn't see more pitchers getting dotted up. Like I didn't see pitchers getting hurt any more or any less than I did last year. I still saw guys. I mean, we've been
you're talking about
like Vlad's still going to get dotted up at 56 versus 50 feet.
You're talking about fractions of a second.
Right. Nanoseconds.
You know what I mean? Like it's not, and that's probably what the people at Toyota saw anyway. There was that it's not a reaction time because it's either hitting them or it's not hitting them. And as a pitcher who's been doing it for a few years, yeah, you either get out of the way or you get out of the way and throw a glove at it. You know what I mean? Like it's either going to hit you or you're going to get it in the glove or it's going to go by you.
The real test was the pitcher on Adderall or not? I think that was the real test. And how
That's
much
a good, that's a good, that would be a great experiment. Who's down for
Took 6 seconds for the ball to get to that person.
Experiment. With the 220 and 240 talk, I did have a fan question, Hick, for you.
Yep.
And this comes from Softball Tony.
Yeah.
All right. He says in 2024, is UTRIP going to allow 220s in league if the league decides to do it, or is it the same thing as 2023, or are they abolishing 220s altogether?
There's been no change from 23 to 24.
So if leagues want to do 220s, they can do 220s, and I'm getting a little bit into it now. The insurance is that's perfectly fine with it.
Yes.
I don't think you're going to see that change for a while. I think they got to let the guys swing these 220s that they bought for.
I agree.
I don't think you'll see that change for a little bit.
In Merrimack, where Tony plays, you will find that they test all the bats. Yeah. Other leagues, they might not, but Merrimack.
Well, we do it. And that was a great thing. You touched on this. Like, I know Connecticut, the couple events I played down there, every bat was tested. You know, Hickey with you and I talked about it at, I think, states. C states, and you're like, it sucks because we have to do this.
I hate it,
but I love it because you don't have to worry about hearing. I mean, you're still going to hear somebody that's probably going to touch bat, but for the most part, you don't have to fucking worry about it. And I love bat testing. I know it's more work on you guys, but until you get people that aren't going to do it, hey, when it's not testing, I'll be the first to say it. You know, I'm not now because Swing Louisville, thanks to Keith and sluggerslowpitch.com, but you know, hey, if I could swing a bat that wasn't passing, okay.
That's 99% of the guys in this country.
Right. But here's a question for you, Hick, and this is a good one here. It's in the comments. It's from you'll get his reclass form soon enough. Anthony Cyrus. This is something that you hear about with ASA a lot. The bat ball combo is awesome. Mm-hmm. Will there ever be? I doubt there's ever going to be a consistent ball for UTRIP. Why don't we move to a consistent ball? Let's even say per class.
Before Hickey even gets into it, I want to say one thing. It's because we live in a weird part of the country where
it's cold.
It gets fucking really cold. The first tournament of the year I played this year was with Hick. He used a hot dot, similar to a hot dot, which was perfect for that time of year because it was 30 degrees.
I think the new hardcore ball is kind of on the way of being that thing, but I think it's too hard. I really do. I think it's a really good ball. It was fucking awesome at A Worlds, but you hit that bitch in March, it's better than a stadium. That ball was flying like a stadium ball. I think they're on the right path for that, but I don't know. It's going to be hard.
You had guys that hit both balls like you've hit both, Mike, mm-hmm. and a lot of guys in the conference said that ball was every bit as good as the stadium, and like
that's what we were hearing. I was hearing.
I mean, when who better to ask than the players? They know what they're hitting, and I changed. Like I probably used 5 different balls this year, and I get criticized a lot. You know that I do, and I put a ball in that takes into account the classification and the weather, and I look at both, and sometimes you hit on it and sometimes you don't. When you get a day that is 90 degrees and you're using I use the Bad Batch Worth
Gold Dots
Pro M, and it was like,
mm-hmm.
And I used it in a C tournament, and the guys were not happy. They were not happy.
How did you like the Baden Fireballs?
They were scuds.
I loved them.
Of course,
my bat didn't, but I did.
Yeah. So
I pitched and I got hit by a few of them, but hitting them is fun, dude. Hitting them is awesome.
we use those in the Andy Bololi tournament, and Frank Henry came up to me, at like 9 a.m. after we had broken
17.
I mean,
it ended up being 21 at 20.
yeah, we broke 21, but at
22.
9 a.m., I think 8 or 9 bats were already broken.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You're using a stadium ball," and I go, "Frank, it's not a stadium ball. Everybody knows that's a stadium ball."
That's right. Because it was cold. It was it wasn't cold, but it was chilly in the morning.
It was raw. It was raw.
Yeah, it was tough. But that came from the backlash from the year before, where everyone at the Bololi or who played in the Bololi said the balls were bad.
I hit a couple out there.
2022, everyone was bitching about the ball because the guys who could hit the home runs were hitting them, but the guys who couldn't weren't hitting them.
Right. And the 22, we used the Pro-M, and so
that was a bad batch, though. That whole year.
It was the bad batch. You got it, Mike. It was the bad batch. So, and all the manufacturers, like it was you have that Vietnam China deal, and it's like, everybody's scrambling to look at the ball. Where was it made, Vietnam or China? And we actually got composite cover, and I was like, we paid a lot of money for those balls, and I thought it was going to help us, like, hey, we're going to use the composite as opposed to the synthetic. We paid extra money for the balls. It's a premier tournament, and like, guys were furious, like, and I was like, hey, I mean, it is what it is. And then
guys weren't even taking those balls at conference events. They were so shitty.
Right.
Did you want to bond me or did you want an egg roll? But it's interesting though. Like, I love when people bitch about the balls. I really do. I love about it. Yeah, it's always fun to hit the rocks. But I was talking to some guys that have been playing for years, and we talked about different balls, different bats, and kind of how everything was played. Man, with these fucking bats these days, you could throw a well taped up sock and hit it out, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I mean, this year in particular, and I'm a Banh Mi guy, the balls at Worlds were pretty perfect. Across the board. Were all very good. Guys who can hit home runs, guys who couldn't hit home runs were hitting home runs. The balls were good from what I saw.
Yeah. Even at D Worlds, like I thought the balls across the board in every event I played in, -1, and I won't shoot out that weekend tournament, but like they were all good. Even for those fields, that ball was fine. At the end of the day, again, it goes back to just fucking hit the ball, man. And I don't mind when a shittier ball, when it's not the Bait and Fire that when you go to Connecticut, that's what you're playing with, or some of these harder balls. When you play with a softer ball, remember how to fucking swing.
The only difference with the softer ball is when you hit it in the gap, it stays up more. It's the only difference.
And the hot dots tend to bounce quite a bit in the infield.
Right.
Too.
In the infield.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you can see the difference between when you hit that, whatever is a 52, 275. When you go hard in the gap, it does float more. That's it.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. One of the things, maybe, J-Ro, you can do a poll and see if the players would rather pay for the balls and use it.
I wouldn't even give them that option. This is the ball we're using. I'll have them there. You buy them.
Hick, I've had that conversation with multiple people in this area. Would you rather? People have said yes. I'm also an asshole, and I say, who cares? Like, I always equate softball to golf so much. Like, I do think there's a lot of similarities. And when people bitch about playing in Florida, well, the wind. I'm like, well, when you go fucking play golf in your area you're used to, and then you go play golf in a different type of course, whether it be flatter with a lot of wind, a link style, or wooded and mountains, you have to learn how to play a different way. So that's why I always say, like, listen, I know I'm not this fucking I don't have a bat named after me like somebody on this fucking podcast right now, but like
that's why I'm on my phone, dude. I'm getting crushed with questions right now.
But it's like
from
just learn how to hit. And like D, you and I talked about it last week, and Snides, we talked about it. Like, learn how to hit, learn how to change. Yeah. Does hitting in Florida sometimes suck for Northeast people? Yeah, it sure does because of that.
Not anymore, though.
No,
Florida
stadium
this year has changed a bit, but I still saw, from everything I saw, defense has been winning in Vieira since 2018. I mean, we had South Shore in 2018. They came in third in the B, and that B tournament, I looked, the team who won it didn't score more than 10 runs in a single game.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different now. It is different now, but it's still, Vieira is a defensive game. I mean, when you change, when the ball is changed to a softer ball, when it's really, really cold here in the Northeast, not all the guys are hitting the home runs. Not all the guys are hitting it as hard. It changed the game, more defensively focused. I like that particularly.
Heck, you've played them both. I mean, played, managed, directed in all these eras. You know, what has been your favorite era to kind of be a participant in?
I mean, my first love was obviously playing, J-Ro. So I mean, I without question the time I played was my favorite. So I started in '92 and played until 2013. So I mean, there's nothing like playing. That's why, as a director, I really tried to think about what the players want. I still think like a player, act like a player, even though I can't play a lick anymore. But I think back to,
let's get you in a home run derby.
I was going to say, I feel like we'd be all right.
I think he's being humble here, guys.
I mean, I haven't swung a bat since 2015. That's 8 years. Literally no BP,
it's like riding a bike.
Not a game.
Plus with the technology these days, Hick. Come on.
So, it's that there's nothing like playing. I mean, when you had Helmer on there, like I wanted to beat him so bad. Like that's right, Mike. I mean, it's just, I mean, you strive for that.
Yeah,
like for me coming in, like anything to beat Helmer or Wallace, like those were the guys. They were the best guys in our area in the Northeast, and we put our teams together and we took our lumps. When we played Gene Shop, we lose 35-34. I play Reebok, we lose 34-32. And it's like, we're in this. I'm like, we are on the brink, and then
those are the games that keep you coming back.
Oh
right?
man, you're like, yeah, because we're here.
Because you're right there.
Yeah.
I'm hearing the scores, and I wish I could have watched those. Like that would have been amazing.
Yeah,
when you're playing against the guys you've been watching for 5-10 years, and you're on the field against them, 100%. And you're in the game, and after you beat them, that's like the first time I beat a major team. I was done for the tournament. I was good, man. We just beat a major team. Still have some years. What the fuck we got to keep playing for?
100%. There is nothing that compares to that. And you take your beatings too. I mean, we played Dirty DeMarini at the Smoky. They posted a 65 spot. So,
I got a 98 put up on me at the Smoky.
Oof.
Did they lube you up first?
I mean, so it's tough, but there's nothing that compares to playing and going to the different parts of the country. It's just that's what it's all about. But being a director has allowed me to stay in the game, and it's fun. It's fun, and I wish more guys would get involved. I mean, like there was a time where Mike and Ryan, they were the only guys from New England. Once we stopped playing, there was Mike and Ryan were the only two guys. Like there was nobody. Hags coming out of New York and some New York guys, but there was nobody. It went dead. And
we had the talent though. That was the thing, man. We had some guys in the Northeast for years that could have done it.
Yeah.
If we had the exposure like that some of these other states have, we 100% had the talent in the Northeast. You can see it on the World's wins that we have at all the divisions. Yeah. It was just people needed to get that exposure.
Right.
We got lucky.
Hick, well, you just said something. You want to get more people involved, and I don't think you're talking about the playing level. How can you be involved in U-Trip? Listen, we've harped on the women's game so much and want to see that grow. We just want to see softball in the area, Northeast, and even now that we stretch across Canada and most of the U.S. grow as well. How can you be involved outside of just playing and not being a fucking asshole, sponsoring? Like, how can you be involved to help grow softball in your community?
I mean, we're always looking for umpires. Like it's critically low. It is when I say critical, it's below critical. Mm-hmm. It's in the red. So it's desperation. I don't know any other way to say it. Like in some states, they just don't have enough guys to cover. I mean, it's a battle every weekend to get 2 umpires on the field for each game. So that would be one way, and then, I mean, even at the local levels, the leagues, that they're looking for players, scorekeepers, directors, managers, even like anything. I mean, the only way it's going to grow is if people continue to get involved. And what I find is that as more and more adults are spending time and money on their children's events, there's less and less time for adult recreation. And so softball has really plummeted in terms of overall numbers. Like league registrations are way down. Tournament level, I'd say that's been steady. But in terms of sheer numbers, in, let's say, between 2000 and 2010, New York, I'll give you an example, used to register 4,000 teams in the state of New York. In Mass in the 90s, we used to register 14 to 1,500. Right.
Oh, shit.
Do you think that has something to do with the I guess the league's kind of relationship with the towns for the leagues? Because I know that we've, like, in Manchester, we kind of got, I mean, our league ended up dying out in Manchester, but it was also really extremely hard to deal with the town itself. And is that like, are the towns seeing like, well, we can make money if we have this AAU team be our 100%. Like, you know what I mean? Like 100%. It's just that they're not making enough money from us.
A great example would be the Plex. Now that's not a public facility, but why on God's green earth would they give the field to JB when he's going to charge $400 for an entry fee, when baseball is going to charge $800? Mm-hmm. It's a no-brainer. So, it's a question we get all the time. How come it's this weekend? How come they give him the dates? Like he doesn't tell them when the dates are going to be. They tell him these. Yeah,
that's the prime spot in New England.
Yeah. and so, with the public facilities, liability is outrageous, and so nobody wants to take responsibility for what's going to happen on the field, for accidents, insurance costs, like, and the day-to-day operation of running leagues. Nobody wants to do anymore because, for all the reasons we've been talking about, like people don't care. They just want to do what they want to do. They don't give a shit about the guy running the league or following the schedule, and it's tough.
I think a lot of guys want to get handed tournaments. Like, I helped with JB for like 3 years, volunteered my time, ran a league before he even thought about giving me a tournament.
Right.
I think guys want to just jump in right away and get tournaments. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
Like, say that a little louder for the people in the back.
JB's got the kid Matt that's working with him now that does the indoor stuff. He started out volunteering his time, helping JB with the firecracker and other thing. and worked his way into getting some tournaments. You can't just, hey, I want to be a director and I'm going to have tournaments this day, and this day.
Right.
Now, that doesn't work that way. You have to show that you're there for more than just making the money.
Yeah.
You have to show that you want to make softball better.
Right.
You want to grow the game.
One of the other issues is, and I was discussing this earlier with a couple of softball people. People don't want to play by the certain rules, so to speak. So if we were to post a tournament, let's say I wanted to post a tournament for a Sunday and put it on the U-Trip site, and let's say it's a co-ed, for example. They have to play 5 and 5. Well, any Joe Schmo can run a tournament at a field and say, well, we're going to go 7 and 3, and there's no roster restrictions, and you can hit whatever ball you want. You can swing whatever bats you want. Who's going to get the business? Me with all my rules, or them when they can just throw together 10 people? They don't have to get the 5 women. They can play with 3, and they go down there, and there's no sanction fee. So they go, okay, well, whoever wins takes half the pot. So now all of a sudden, there's $700-800 going to the winning team. Like, do the math. Well, are you going to play in the U-Trip event for a trophy that costs $100, or are you going to play for $700 cash?
You think that's got worse in the years?
Yeah, I mean, in certain areas, yeah, definitely.
I've actually heard that I don't know if you had mentioned it, but the out in Wisconsin area, that team Comatose, Fish, who used to play with Bad Beat, he said that there's not really any U-Trip, but all it is just cash tournaments.
Right.
And that Comatose team kind of just does the circuit and makes a bunch of money, but people still show up and play.
Right. Yeah.
It is interesting, and I don't know if it's today's culture or whatever. Snides, like you said, you spent years, and that's actually where I first met you. I think it was my first firecracker. You were in Plainville and just came up and said, hey, you're not going to get handed shit. I don't know how you guys do at work. And like, when you walk in the door the front day, sure, you get a paycheck, but like, you're not just handed every fucking responsibility. You got to build up to everything. I don't know. We're just
No, I think that
I could go off on a rant on that one, but
that part too. I mean, we were talking earlier when the internet quit the first time on me, but those 6, 7, 8, these people that are now our younger players have been playing in tournaments where every tournament's a ring. Like, everything is something to say you're the best. You're doing this. Like, I keep seeing posts about the class of 2030 commits. And I'm like, why is Perfect Game? Oh, because Perfect Game is making a shit ton of money. And if that's where the money is, you're going to start seeing it. So, yeah, there's this group that's thinking something's supposed to be handed to me, but we have the older group saying, here is something their entire time. So it's a shitstorm of wanting to make everyone feel good, and then people liking how that feels and thinking it should always continue. That's all I got. I'm going to go pee now.
Great question.
Good.
Hey, well, before you leave, Coco,
good contribution, Coco.
Hickey, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I don't know how late you want to be up on a podcast.
Oh, Hickey could go all night, I'm sure.
Talking softball. Like,
Hickey has a bag for his
perfect.
piss.
And Coco, go
go
piss
around the clock.
I went. That's where I went. I was like,
I was letting someone go first.
Guys, I gotta go.
This is what's going to happen. Okay. J-Ro, you are going to be the first guy to do a 24-hour podcast. So you'll have.
I would actually. I could pop in on that.
And listen, let's do this for charity. So you get 24 different guests. Do 1 hour, and then.
Oh my God!
And each person, you pay. So like, I get an hour with you, J-Ro. Then I put up my money. I mean. How about $100 each, right? 24 hours. There's 2,500 right there. And, you can keep half for the podcast and donate the other half to a local someone in need.
We would donate it all.
That
Give the
Unless
whole thing away.
J-Ro,
I mean-
unless someone wanted to buy J-Ro some beers during that,
So-
because I mean, we all know J-Ro would do this. And if
I
you bring
know
it up-
he will. I know
he will do it.
I know he will.
I will be there at some points.
Yeah.
We will all be there at some points, but we
Right.
know J-Ro is the guy who's just like, all right, you said this, we're doing it.
It's
Jay-
written down.
yeah,
It's
he
on a
can do it.
post-it note. It's happening.
Yeah.
And I was laughing because I was like, I can't imagine what our 20 to 24 J-Ro looks like.
Yeah. How many drinks? Like how many?
Dude, so we're gonna need an IV. If someone could, we do have this Venmo.
Apparently, make a shitload of money with it.
Yeah, we do make a ton of money on it.
Yeah.
But if
$14 in the last 8
if someone wants
months.
to donate an IV for J-Ro, I think that would be probably a good idea, just to keep everything balanced throughout the 24-hour podcast.
I was
think
pretty
that-
close during the first Challenge Cup when it was going like through the night. I was up until
Right.
3, 4 in the morning a couple times.
I think
So and the Challenge Cup is the next USSSA event, is it not?
No,
Man, I
but they
saw it
don't-
in the comments.
They don't like us still.
J-Ro, yeah,
you're gonna be fine. Dude, they're gonna let you.
you're gonna be
You-
able to.
you-
Yeah,
You will be.
I mean,
They have to let you
you-
restream.
You will be involved, J-Ro. Don't.
Mhm.
Maybe bring it, so to speak, isn't the
Sorry, boys. See you later.
Yeah. But look at Dustin looking
best
behind
part
him.
of this show. Look at
Um,
Coco.
I just was expecting
Can I
this
have-
at some point anyway.
Can I have like a PG-13 channel on YouTube Live?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
Hick-
I don't know if you might. Maybe you are. I don't know. We'll
Here,
see.
while we're having some fun here, I had a question. Well, we have a U-Trip representative on our podcast.
Yeah.
Something about spraying bats it's typically frowned upon, correct? Like spraying foreign substances on the barrel
Oh
of your
my
bat.
God.
Spraying,
Yeah.
Spraying.
Not
Using
spraying.
spray.
Sprang.
This right here, that's
bro.
typically not what you want to see.
This
That
was an
happens-
interesting picture on U-Trip softball page.
That happens all the time.
I know it does. I'm not saying that. It was just an interesting one I came across on USSSA, the softball page on Facebook. I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't want a little extra tack on their bat? Hick,
J-Ro,
comments,
you
anything?
know who that is, right?
Isn't that Mac?
That's Mac. Yeah, that's the $500 man.
I love this guy.
Uh-huh.
I love that. I love the TikToks on him, Mac Rio.
Yeah.
Look at that. Hick, I put you in a spot. You can't talk, huh?
No, listen. It's
The umpire didn't see it. It's good.
is it legal? I mean, listen. I mean, we'd be up till tomorrow morning if we talk about how many things that are done that aren't legal that we turned a blind eye to. Yeah, I mean, you're
not really supposed to change the grip on your bat, are
No,
you?
you're not even supposed to have a bat knob on it.
Yeah,
Really?
that's
Yeah,
all altering the bat.
You can't put tape over the knob either.
Yeah,
That's
that is
altering a bat.
all altering a bat.
Mhm.
Putting hockey tape as your
Mhm.
grip, that's altering a bat. You should. That's
Even
where
back
it
in
starts.
baseball, that was an illegal thing if the umpire wants to call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So I mean that
Yeah.
like Hick
Mhm.
just said, that could be anything as as effective as spraying your bat right on the sweet spot, or
Hey,
it's all
well,
altering it.
Okay. Well, I saw that when that dump came out. I was flipping through the pictures and I was laughing at that.
It was an interesting picture for you, Trip, to
Yeah.
to pick. To go,
I
go
don't-
to one
I
of
don't
those.
think they're-
almost as interesting as the Suncoast.
Yeah, knob
Yeah,
in the
you-
picture.
You like that one?
That was a nice little piece.
It's in the Challenge Cup. In the Challenge Cup,
Video.
Yeah, flyer.
the Challenge Cup, the promo before the
Yeah,
it was
they
a
didn't-
Suncoast knob.
They didn't edit real well.
I will.
Yeah.
I won't mention also the Facebook group that has been pushing some of that stuff as well.
Oh, you
Just
can
because
do it.
you're on here, Hick. Softball and Sunset.
Yeah, they had a good guest tonight. I'm gonna have to watch it later.
I really
saw
want to
that.
see it.
Yeah, I was
They
interested
had
in that too.
Jamie Neal.
Jamie Neal. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think Evan did a hell of a job. I had, obviously we didn't watch. I think that's a conversation that a lot of people have had.
We
I've had
should
that
try-
conversation
We
with
should try and get him on here. He's
I
Evan?
talked about it. Yeah.
he's a good
Yeah.
guy.
We would love to. We'd love to have Evan on here.
Yeah, but I think that's gonna be a good thing to watch later.
I agree. Hickey, what is there anything big we can expect in 2024 in the Northeast for softball coming out of the convention, going into next year after what happened this past year? Actually, let's back that up. How did this past year run? How did you like this year compared to the year prior? Because I know a year prior you weren't thrilled.
It was a challenging year because of the weather. I mean, I there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We lost a lot of events in Mass, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, all the New England states did really. We lost a ton, so it was challenging in that respect. Like I thought the zero tolerance was better. We weren't as strict on it, but I think in general, I thought incidents were down. So that was better. The abuse of umpires and fighting and stuff like that. So in terms of that stuff, it was better. I status quo. I didn't think it was any different than any other year really. Moving forward,
it's not a bad thing. That's always good when it's kind of status quo and the abusive officials went down.
Yeah. For next year, I'll tell you that the state directors are gonna meet on December 10th. And so after that, we'll be able to share a few things. There could be a couple of tweaks, scheduling wise.
I like that little cliffhanger you got.
Yeah, there could be a couple of tweaks scheduling wise, and I'm wondering how it will be received. Whether I think one group will be happy. I think the other group may not be happy.
Is that going to be more open and C tournaments for the upper teams that we have in the Northeast?
Or are we looking more on the women's versus men's?
It should affect both men's and women's.
Okay.
But I can't say anything. I don't want to say something and then you said this was going to happen.
Yeah. So the thing,
and then I look like an idiot. So there's a couple things that we're looking to.
I know this hasn't happened around here in a while, but did you guys ever have like Friday night one pitches up in like your guys' area? When did those stop going away in the Northeast?
One pitch in general is fucking awesome.
Has there been talks of trying to like bring those back in some of the states?
We have a league that is was one pitch. I think it got down to like 4 teams maybe. And then a lot of those guys came to Merrimack.
We used to play a lot of Friday night madnesses that were one pitches that were awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking like tournaments that are just Friday night one pitch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
If you can get the fields, it's definitely it is fun. It is fun. That's something to think about. I know for me, they use the fields in Taunton for league on Friday nights, so they would have to, not schedule games on a certain night for, which I'm sure if I gave them plenty of notice, maybe that's a good idea, Mike. We'll look into that.
Can we pencil you in for 12/12? That's the Tuesday following your meeting.
What are you talking about? I'm going to be flying home from Germany that day. I'm going to jump on the Zoom. I'm just going to sit back. I'll be there. Hickey, I'll be your note taker. I take great notes.
Yeah.
Great.
One thing I did want to ask and ask quickly. I don't know if that's the exact term that is needed, but you said that some of the states are moving up to want to start the new year at December 1st.
Yes.
So how much pressure was put on the committee for earlier appeal process?
Good.
There was some pressure certainly from the southern states. Yes.
No pressure from you, Hick.
No.
You don't want to do that after Thanksgiving dinner. You're looking at
Give me the fucking February.
You're looking at the guy who got bumped to C for the third year in a row, and you're like, you're not a D elite player.
And full disclosure, like I just admitted that I was late with my portion in editing the list, and Southern California was as well, and we were arguing with our counterparts that we needed the world tournaments to completely evaluate our teams, and I said, look, guys, I realize that you are going to play in December, January, February, March. You're 10 tournaments deep before my people even sniff the field. I'm like, look, we got rained out like 10 times in the Northeast. I needed every event. It was the right thing to do. It was the fair thing to do, to include teams' world finish in whether we were going to make them an NCC bump. So I needed the time, and we didn't all agree. So one of the things is that when you get in that committee, you realize that each area of the country, has different wants and needs, and for us being, limited to a short season, that was important.
Listen,
I think it was 19 rainouts.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Crazy.
That's insane.
I think it was like 19 out of 20 something Saturdays.
Yeah.
It was a
because from
year.
Labor Day on, I saw that post from JB. There was like 19 from the Labor Day until Worlds. I think 3 tournaments, not 3 D tournaments, not 3 opens, not 3 tournaments were completed.
Right.
Well, Hickey, listen. Next time I get on USSSA Mike on USSSALive.com, you're gonna have to get a subscription now to hear me. I'll tell these people out fucking west and down south to fuck off and listen. Us up in the Northeast, we don't have this perfect weather. It's not light out till 5 o'clock still in daylight savings. It's pitch black at 4:30. I'll tell them all to fuck off for a minute. In my PG way.
Right.
Hickey, I stay clean
You'll
for
tell
a whole
them to frig
weekend,
off.
baby.
You J-Ro, you were amazing, and I can listen, man, like that. Snide said it earlier. There was so much positive feedback from people that played, from umpires, from executives within. Like, and I'm not going to name the guy, but he said, "Who the fuck is Jason Rowe?" And he's like, "That guy's fucking amazing." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Like, I don't know a Jason.
I know this.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting. I was sitting around. I talked about this on podcast, so you've heard of. But like Scott Naparata introduced himself to me. It was like what you've done with the women's game in the conference. That's awesome. Right. And Jen Naparata and I had great conversation. It's like, but the common question from majority of people that knew me, majority of people that have listened to us. So like, how many times have you slipped up, and how the fuck are you staying clean for an entire weekend? I said, listen, I'm not hitting the sauce during broadcast. I'm drinking maybe a beer at Wawa while I'm having a turkey gobbler, and that's about it. Hick, we're starting to do something a little new here with our guests. We're not waiting to the end of the show anymore. We're actually letting Coco get involved, although tonight I feel like he got a little too involved.
I have so many MFKs for today. I added one during the broadcast.
Okay. So you added one because, so Coco and I, we saw each other at Bert's.
Yeah.
And Coco brought up the fact that he sent it out. Because he does the work. He puts in the work. He's sending this out to people. He's like, "Is this a good MFK? What do you guys? What's your MFK? This is the MFK. I have to do it prior to the show."
Mm-hmm.
And what did we find out?
He's the one guy doing homework on the show.
I asked. I think the people I asked were too young. Their takes were J-Ro is young at heart, and I think that's starting to show. Their takes were bad. But I did create one, and I said maybe it's me, but I don't want to talk about it too long, so we move quickly.
But that's the culmination of our conversation.
Then I said I gotta go. I got 8 beers, and I only need.
Yeah, 3. I was like, oh, so you're saying that you're the one who's actually wrong?
We'll see. But I created one after the conversation that you guys were having earlier. So the first MFK, banh mi, egg roll, or dumpling.
Oof.
Oh.
Is it a fried dumpling?
No,
Remember,
fuck that. No.
best
It's
one
your
you've ever had.
preference. It's your
Yes,
preference.
Best one you've had.
Your preference.
Well, you
And
gotta
this is
ask
just-
with him because you don't even know if it's fucking that we're talking about the time of day or the food.
I know.
In the-
I
You
know.
haven't noticed.
I
I
know.
make up things when it behooves me. If it benefits me, I'm going to run with it.
And here's the beauty, Snides. This is only for Hick right now.
Yep.
We
I
don't
got
get
one
to
for later.
partake
Don't
in
worry.
this.
Why don't we all
Wait,
just
wait,
do it right
wait.
now?
Wait, we
I
have
have-
two.
I have 3. I said.
Holy
They just
shit.
kept-
Let's
I
just-
don't
okay.
listen. I don't listen too much. All right, Hick, lead us off.
I don't talk
Banh mi-
much.
Banh mi, egg roll, or dumplings.
Uh,
Now, and when you fuck
This is so
whatever you
easy.
decide, you're only allowed to have it once.
oh, man.
Have you ever had a great banh mi? Is the first question. Oh, you. All right. The banh mi is a delicious Vietnamese sandwich.
And I'm marrying
Usually-
the banh mi every time.
Oh man.
And I'm gonna
fucking
fuck the dumpling.
And
You're
I'm
killing
fucking
me,
egg
Egg
bro.
roll,
roll.
egg roll.
I
Egg
like
roll,
how
let's
I like how
go.
angry Snyder is right now. Let's
Egg
go.
roll
I
with
did
duck
something
sauce
well
is
for
the
us.
fucking
Yeah.
win.
Get out of here.
You
Yes.
just want the duck
Nice.
sauce. You can
Come
dip the banh mi in the
on.
duck sauce.
I had to go in a timeout.
It wasn't me.
Timeout.
Wow. No, we got to hear it.
Oh,
I mean,
I'll
you
move
gotta hear
myself.
why.
I'll move myself.
Oh my goodness, we're moving
You-
around. Oh jeez.
We're
I just
having
got-
fun.
I just got a headache. Let me put my glasses on. What the-
Yeah.
And I'm not drinking.
Thank God. At least
What
somebody's
is it-
sober. That's why we have Snides.
It's not, but I don't understand the egg roll. Snides, we need answers on the egg roll whenever you because
I've
What
never had an egg roll and be like, wow, I want another
this
one
is
of those.
incredible.
Now, I've
I
always
don't
had an
know,
egg
man.
roll. It's the same fucking thing.
No, trust me, when you move to Florida and you get an egg roll from Florida.
Shut up.
It's
Florida
not
has
like
awful
it is in
Shut
Connecticut.
the fuck up. Yeah, you're talking about like,
No.
oh, just trust me. When you move to Florida, you're going to love the food.
No,
Florida
it
is
sucks.
the fucking garbage can of
It's
everything.
terrible. I said the food sucks here.
Oh, okay. I missed
Oh,
that because you started saying Florida.
You know to appreciate.
Yes.
Oh, you grew to appreciate the egg roll,
Egg roll.
because
Yeah.
the Chinese food in Florida is so bad.
Trash.
I'm going to mute myself before I say something.
So Snide, what do you got for us?
I'm gonna marry the egg roll. I've never
You
had
fucking
the
suck.
Vietnamese sandwich.
I mean, to
I'll-
be
I'll have it
fair,
once and I'll
To be
suck it, and I'm gonna kill the dumpling because if it's not fried, I don't like the texture.
But you're allowed
It's
to
your
fry it.
favorite one, the best one you can think of.
I'm sticking with it. I'm killing it. I gotta try
Hey.
the sandwich. I never had it.
Hey,
Try it
it's, it's very, very good. So I'm fucking the egg roll because I could get it fried or steamed,
I
right?
know.
Which
Egg
my
rolls?
choice.
I can't
No,
steam
not
an
the
egg
egg
roll.
roll.
Dumplings.
The dumpling. Did I say egg roll? I
So
meant
spring
dumpling.
rolls.
Yeah. You
Okay.
definitely,
Christ.
definitely fuck the dumpling. There's no
Yeah.
there's no debate. All right, that one.
I'm gonna be the only one that's marrying an egg roll.
But the
Coco.
egg roll's got the
no,
length.
No, I'm with you, Snide.
Yes.
You marry the egg roll.
Oh,
You kill that other thing. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
We're not talking about
Banh
fucking.
mi.
Hold on, Hickey.
Yeah.
Hickey.
And
Nick, we're
and-
not talking scallion pancakes here. We're talking about a fucking egg roll.
Hickey has
It
killed the
is
Vietnamese.
Egg roll is just like when you go to the fucking gas station and you need a quick
Oh,
snack and you
man.
grab a pack of Doritos Cool
Oh
Ranch.
man,
That's
you've
just-
never been to Happy Garden, J. Roll. I mean, you gotta,
I've been,
come
I've
down
been to
here,
New
man.
Happy Garden and
Yeah,
I've
you
got
gotta
a
go
lot
to
of stories there.
You gotta go to
There's a
Happy
crowbar.
Garden. No,
All right,
this
so
is-
where's the Happy Garden? Where's
it's in Plymouth. It's in Plymouth, Mass. It's delicious. Well, Ming Dynasty. I mean, I mean,
The
that's
Pilgrims set it up.
that's right.
Hickey?
That's right.
it's the original, Jero. You got to go.
So
We're going. We're gonna head down. You know what? TB has his his food reviews, right? I don't know if he's doing it anymore because of his BYB LLC. Shout out to TB and the business he's doing. BYB.
Maybe that could be one of the 24 hours is you and TB talking about food.
Oh my God!
I want to be involved in that for sure.
Maybe it's you guys
The
are
hot
eating a
take.
meal together.
A little mukbang.
If you've ever, if you haven't eaten with TB, you got to experience it just once, just to
Keep
see.
your hands
I
away
mean,
from his
yeah,
plate. And your own plate.
that dude can eat food.
All right,
And
so
it's
we've got
fucking
we got TB, we got Hick, and we got Snides for a 24-hour podcast. We're 21 more guests away.
Helmer,
listen, we're gonna make
Helmer.
this. Hickey.
And
I
Helmer,
wrote a question that Helmer needs to answer, so he can do one.
Ask him what his email is.
Don Cooper. Don Cooper.
Ooh.
Scott Hartling. I mean, you can go right.
Yeah, we
you
have yet to get Hartling on.
You know.
Yeah, we got to get Hartling on. We've tried a couple times, it just isn't lined up.
Frank Henry. You get some of the manufacturers.
He does the work for us. It's great.
Hick is going to create this 24-person list in 10 seconds.
I put Corny. I put Corny down as well. So we're
Corny is pure humor.
Corny would be fucking awesome on this.
Awesome.
JR, you can ask anybody. They're going to tell you yes.
You know, definitely.
I'm just letting you know.
We started this little podcast off not knowing a name, not knowing who was hosting it, an edible, a bottle of bourbon, and a 12-pack deep. And here we are just rattling off all the big players in softball.
Yeah.
Hick, we're going to do a 24-hour podcast. We're going to set this up. It's going to be an off-season thing, so it'll probably be in the next 6 weeks. After the Challenge Cup, maybe February.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll hit.
What's going on with Challenge Cup?
Oh yeah, what is up with Challenge Cup? I haven't seen any Massachusetts stuff yet.
So Challenge Cup, I don't know if you guys are aware, they have a site dedicated now. It is
challengecup.com. I've got it right here. I'll put it up on the screen.
USSSA.com.
Yeah,
There's a Facebook page too.
For all the questions, all the rules, all the bullshit, everybody, can we do this? Can we do that? You know, the answer is no, you can't. Like it's all written out there. The states, the smaller states, will be able to combine. For seniors, it's border states. For major, there's like 6 states that can't combine, but for men's and women's major, there's some combinations. And then a couple states also for class B, men's B. But everything C or below should be an individual state. There are some exceptions, like states like Maine and Vermont. Those players, like last year, would be able to jump in with New Hampshire if they so choose. That would be up to the New Hampshire crew to decide that. Massachusetts, we're solo across the board. The Team New England, we didn't do a men's major last year.
I did one, but we will
Mike.
We will not be doing it this year.
Right.
I was going to coach it and everything, but it's just the way that things went with people this year. I'm not putting my time and effort into it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So it's tough to pull off, you know, with multiple personalities and then the finances and it's
well, the financing wasn't the problem with us.
Yeah,
we're just not. We're not doing it.
Yeah. I think the idea kind of gets lost, and it's because softball players kind of just they're the best player, right? They can play. I mean, it's tough because Hick, your state has always done a great job of it. You have a crew,
a committee,
an entire committee that's putting in. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that some states probably don't have anything. They just have, okay, we're gonna let this guy run it, and he's gonna pick whoever he wants because I don't care.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it's tough when it's also looked at as different. Like the idea behind it, I think is in a great spot, right? Like it's the best players in that division from that state, with a bunch of teams getting recognized here for having players on the team. It just it seems like it's getting away from that maybe, and maybe it has been kind of consistently through the years. And then the other thing I had to mention is you said that Mass is on its own across the board. Has there been any talk about a B team from our area, and would you be looking at different areas? Because I feel like we have a solid B team in a much smaller area than most of the other states, but it's because we're all different states.
Right. So what I think is going to happen, and I have someone that is willing to coach the B team. We would need to determine if it's going to be Mass and Rhode Island or Mass and New Hampshire. I don't believe we'd be able to do all three. So for a B team, I think we'd have to narrow it to just 2 states.
Dustin, aren't you living in Rhode Island these days? Right? You
They
changed
check
your
IDs.
I did not.
Well, I know a guy that can take
Rhode
care of that
Island.
tonight.
Yeah, well, I have both my IDs still.
The other question I have on
Legal
the
things later.
Challenge Cup, if you guys don't mind me asking, is
Love it.
what do you think about this type of rule? You have everybody on the team is that level, but you need to have, like, rather than having 3 bumps up, you have 3 guys from the division, and at least 3 guys from the division just beneath you on your team as like a up and comer spot almost.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's a good idea, but I think you're going to take the 3 best lower guys. Is going to hurt those other teams that are playing in the lower.
You hurt the D team.
Yeah, I guess that's what I. Yeah,
Mhm. That's the only downfall to that.
So we have an issue, and I can share some of what our committee has talked about. In Mass, there are Mass C players that we are considering for the Mass B team. And I think if you think about it, it makes sense. They're rated C, but they're very good. We also, in turn, have a few Mass D players that we would consider for the Mass C team. So an example I'll give you is, like, for the Directors' Cup this year when we went to Connecticut, we took an E player, and there was some backlash. There were some people upset. You know, you have 18 D teams in Mass, and you took a guy off an E team and put him on the D, and that was Ryan Lima. And that kid kills the ball. So I thought it was an easy selection. In the catcher EH role, he's a fantastic hitter, and so we selected him on the Directors' Cup team for the Mass D team. And I think you may see that, and we are close. We are close to announcing some teams. I just have to finalize with the coaches. I have the coaches selected. So in E, it's going to be James Casey.
Shocking.
In D, it's going to be Zach Corcoran from MP Sports.
Mm-hmm.
In C, it is going to be Steve Simonelli from LFT Simonelli Towing. And then in B, it's going to be Ty Poirier from Yeti. So,
jeez, he's still alive.
Right.
He's still around hanging out in
still
softball.
alive. He says.
So
Hike in the woods.
those are the coaches. And then Chris Pope is going to be doing men's over 40.
Like
so
that.
Yeah, so he'll have a team.
Dustin, how old are you now?
Over 35, turning 38 tomorrow. Close to
really?
40.
Happy birthday, buddy. We
Happy
might be on,
birthday, dude.
We might be,
be
we
on.
might actually
Yeah,
still be.
Yeah.
Let's not waste the happy birthdays yet.
Hick,
Yeah.
how about women's teams? Do you have those, or is Lori running that?
So Lori is the point person on the women's teams. We'll have a Mass women's C team, and we will have a New England women's major team.
Ooh, nice.
And happy to report that Connecticut will be back involved with
Nice.
the New England women's major. And there was a couple of people in particular from Connecticut that got screwed last year. Molly Hamill, because of the Connecticut, New York men's major that had to be the Challenge Cup committee wanted Connecticut, New York to be women's major as well. So they'll be back. Connecticut women will be back with New England.
That's going to be a dangerous team.
Yeah. They were really good last year. I was down there that weekend, and they were fun to watch. They made a good run. So I'm really looking forward to see what the final roster looks like. It's really, really tough. I know that that committee for the women's committee they have some difficult choices, and it will be sooner than later. So you can look there'll be invites going out, within the next week on a lot of these teams
awesome.
from Massachusetts.
That's exciting. That's a very exciting. I know I'll be playing down there during the D's, and hopefully I'll still be there the next weekend on the 25th. We'll see. U-Trip, I'm still available. I'll just rent a house for the week in Florida.
You can stay with me.
At this point, sell
Fine.
yourself.
It's nice. I mean, we're gonna have to
2.5 hours.
podcast together, so might as well just do it from your house.
Do the 24 hours then. When he goes to deliver mail, you bring in guests, but you're just going from his basement or his kitchen,
Do
I
it.
think.
Nope. Do it from the truck.
It's illegal.
From
You know
the
what?
mail truck.
I'm gonna be a
Come
Vera.
on.
I'll just talk to them and say, listen, guys, can I have your broadcast booth for the 24 hours? I just need a Wi-Fi login. I've got my computer. I got a webcam. We're gonna make shit happen.
Just sleep
Done.
there.
We'll do it right from the stadium. Awesome. Hick, I gotta tell you, every time we eclipse like that 95-minute mark lately, all I do is think about you. And
It's
here,
the
I
hick
love
mark.
we're at
Yeah.
2:35 right now, baby.
You guys are sick. You guys are sick. I love it. Why wouldn't you? I mean, like, why wouldn't you? You got.
Well,
What are you going to do? Go to bed? I mean,
This is the Bring It
what?
podcast experience.
That's right. That's
It's like
right.
Joe Rogan.
That's right.
fuck that Joe Rogan guy. What's
Yeah.
he talk about? He talks
Right.
about acid, and I don't listen to him. I can't get into him.
When do we get our Spotify deal? That's
That's what's
really
next.
what I'm just waiting
We
for.
pay them $100 million.
Didn't Call Her Daddy get a bunch from Barstool Sports? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're like a
They left
combination of
Barstool to
sports
get
and
it.
sex. Like, we're good.
Hickey,
But heck,
yeah, Hickey, if you-
Sorry.
if
I
you-
didn't realize you were talking.
I
I'm
was.
used to it.
Everybody be
I
quiet.
know you're
That's just
not.
what
Hold
he's
on.
gonna say.
Hold on,
No,
guys.
I just wanted
Let's
Hickey to
go.
know if he needs someone to induct him in. I know I'm usually very energetic and too emotional,
Wow.
but I promise for you, I will bring it even keel, and I will give you the introduction you deserve. But congratulations,
Thank you.
that's such an accomplishment, and you
Thank you,
deserve it.
Corey.
Like
I appreciate
it's so
that.
great seeing you around.
Thanks a lot, Corey. I appreciate that, buddy.
That's right, J. Rowe. He's even using my real name.
You just took the fucking rap. Like, no,
Yeah,
but
well,
heck,
you
hey,
guys didn't let me jump in earlier.
Oh my goodness.
you don't talk anymore. It's okay.
Heck, I know we haven't talked in the last 2 hours and 45 minutes, but if you want me to induct you to the hall, I'm here for you, buddy.
Love
No,
it.
but
Okay.
2024 is it always down at Sanibel Island in Florida?
No, so it rotates. They didn't tell us where it's going to be next year.
Shit.
Syracuse, New York.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was
Actually, it might be in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm thinking
I can make that one.
You can, yeah.
I don't know
Don't-
if it's going
we
to be
don't
there.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
want them there.
No,
but-
I don't know where it's going to be yet.
well, I tell you what, we'll see what happens. It's a long time, but hotel lobbies do love the Bring It podcast. Also, role players apparently. So, but heck, 2024 Hall of Fame inductee for USSSA. I got that text message. We got that text message. I didn't look at my phone until probably an hour after Dustin last week, and holy shit, I thought I just got a naked picture from Kate Upton. Like I was pumped to see that text for you, buddy.
Yeah, it was a surprise. They had kind of said it was going to be 4 or 5 years down the road, so I was a little taken aback. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of shocked sitting there when I heard it. I was pretty blown away. So
It's great for the area. You're well deserving of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, anybody, you know us, anything going well in the Northeast and at the national level, we're going to pump the shit out of. So, heck, it's been a
We're here
pleasure
for
having you back on. Yeah, we're
Thanks,
ready for all
guys.
the parties.
I love it.
Thanks
I
for
love
joining us, and thanks for sticking on. I'm glad we got this long with you on here as well.
Yeah, dynamite.
That's what she said.
Love it. Keep up the
Hey.
great work, guys.
Appreciate it, Hick. Have a happy
Good
Thanksgiving,
stuff.
buddy.
All right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah.
Take it
See ya,
easy.
bud.
Later.
Oh, fucking Hickey.
He's such a fun guest because he'll tell you like what's happening, and then he'll be like, "And this is what I think about this."
He is the best guest we have ever had and will continue to have on the show. He is the best.
Yeah, I mean, and he's like he is a USSSA state director, but he understands when they're not doing something that their clients want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like he's good in that area of the game where he's a director. He understands what the players want, and he's giving that information to them. You know what I mean?
Hickey's the fucking man. I know a lot of people shit on directors in our area and everything, but we're lucky to have guys.
No
like
one
Hickey.
complains about anything in softball. Come on.
Never ever.
I complain that I still have this ring. My fiance was down at the Valdosta turkey trot with you this weekend.
Yep.
This is Sasha's ring. I'm just waiting.
You complained, but you also didn't recognize
didn't
her
know it was
in
her.
real life.
That's not the best look.
You're not gonna get married to anyone like that.
So I was thinking, J-Ro, one of the ways you might maybe you could find a way to make the women's conference tournament coincide with a wedding. That's how you can get it up to the Northeast.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
But here's the thing, like Sasha's from Florida, like she's probably going to get married down in Florida, and that's something we've talked about. I'm like, listen, Florida's kind of a trash bail. Like, can we move out of there? And she's like, no, but the
Can we
tax
do it
is
at
great.
the Connecticut Sports?
Send her pictures of the Connecticut Sportsplex farms. And then you've got her. The smell will just endear the whole family.
All right, so we got. I need you have two more.
Did we get
MFKs.
everybody's? No, I don't
J-Ro,
even think
no.
we
So
heard.
I've been writing them down. J-Ro did
Okay.
not answer.
Oh yeah, mine was
Okay.
I'm marrying him on me. I'm fucking the dumplings and I'm killing.
Yeah,
it.
we agreed at the
We
same time.
agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then that's why I didn't hear it. So the egg rolls are pretty much dead, except for the guys that are new.
Never had a bond me.
Yeah.
So I have never had a bond me, so I put it in the fuck.
Oh my god. Well, okay. So you like to just get a
So
little,
did
yeah. You like
I
to
want
get
to
loose
try
with it.
everything once.
Yeah.
I'm killing the egg roll, and I was marrying
The banh
dumpling.
mi is like it's like an Asian sub.
It looks
It's an
delicious.
It's an Asian po' boy.
Yeah, it looks
fucking
delicious. I just haven't had it.
incredible.
It's fresh. It's got cilantro,
pork
pickled
belly, right?
veggies. It can be.
It can be a bunch of different things.
A
Oh, it's
pate.
pork
It
belly.
can be pork
It's
belly.
pork
It can be
belly.
a lot of things. You're right. Pork is typically it's
The
just
carrots.
I
you
just
get-
didn't want to go.
I mean, you get the pickled carrots like with with a
Sure.
little- it's
I don't
Look
want to
at
go
this.
30 Day
Justin.
Fiance and marry it without ever fucking it.
Justin.
That's
We've
all.
got fucking two skinny guys like fucking.
yeah,
giving
but
food
I
opinions.
feel like
Get the
banh mi's
fuck
are
outta here.
actually like not. They're
not
probably the
bad.
best for you in this list.
No, they're probably good.
I
do
just
steamed
think of
dumpling.
I just think maybe I just had just two terrible egg rolls in my
No,
life.
because
you
there are
I'm
no
just
good
like,
ones.
You
I bite
haven't.
into it and I'm
There's
like,
no good ones.
what is
An
what is
egg
this?
roll. Egg roll
It's
is
cabbage.
egg roll is essentially a hot, steamy fleshlight that you eat with your mouth.
But that might be why it
Wait,
might be a good.
I might
place
be
to put
in.
a
I might be
fuck
back.
position.
I gotta tell you. Also, during that, I went through the 6 beers that I brought on the air with me. Thanks to our executive producer, she brought me 2 more.
Oh, the BR.
All right, what do
so
you
I
got?
did have
honey?
2 more. So I've got for the main course,
Okay.
Mary Fuck Kill stuffing, mashed potatoes, the rolls.
Wait, for
Thanksgiving
the
dinner.
main course, you're talking about
No,
side
no,
dishes.
this is no. Trust me, because my other MFK is desserts. So we had an appetizer. We
Right,
had
this
a main
isn't
course.
an entree.
Because I'm not going to do
You
white
said-
meat, dark meat, and
You
ham
said for
Okay.
the main course.
of our MFKs. We have
We've
so
said
many.
this.
today. That's
We've
what
said
I'm-
this
Oh,
a million
okay.
times, but Thanksgiving food sucks.
That's so stuffing, mashed potatoes, and the dinner roll.
Mashed potatoes. I'm marrying.
Marrying mashed potatoes.
Fucking the
Like,
dinner roll, and I'm killing the stuffing.
No.
Okay, well,
No,
you're out.
first off,
I'm
Stuffing's
fucking the
always
stuffing
dry.
because the stuffing.
It's always
See,
dry.
here- Oh,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
making it
know.
wrong.
My wife makes a nice.
J-Ro has
stuffing.
lost his
J-Ro
jacket
is,
for this.
is losing.
Oh,
Oh
Oh
no,
no!
Frank Pick,
Frank
here you
Pick
go,
is one of
bud.
our 20 listeners, so he's in.
this is
Oh,
fucking
he didn't lose the
bullshit.
jacket. Hold on, let me get
I'm
a
marrying.
list
Yeah, he doesn't even hear anything we're saying.
No,
I
I'm,
can
I'm
fucking hear you. I hear that. It's like, oh, my wife doesn't make dry stuffing. And yes, stuffing doesn't have to be dry. It also shouldn't be shoved up the turkey's ass like you're trying to fuck a one-night stand from Tinder off of their fucking coochie.
You know,
Like-
it's my favorite side, and a lot of people don't do it on
Oh, you
Thanksgiving.
fucking say it. Go.
Turnips.
okay. Well,
turnips.
do we have to-
Ooh.
are they like cubed?
No, they're mashed with some butter and salt.
Mashed turnips.
Okay,
So I was going to
mashed
say
turnips.
Okay.
parsnips. I'm a
Same thing.
parsnip fan. Yeah.
Yeah, same thing.
So
You know,
I
underrated then.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated.
Okay.
I would
So the
marry
tur-
I would marry
Bring it
those
back
over
in.
mashed potatoes.
Ooh. One thing I've been getting into a little bit recently, okay, guys, and
Not cardio, because
don't judge me. It's not cardio. Leaks. Leaks. If leaks are done well, I'm telling you right now, leaks are nice.
You melt a leak.
Dude. A melted leak is nice.
Oh, I almost put leeks in my soup I made last night, and I was like, I just feel like that's a little too extra. But leeks, absolutely.
I don't know if that's the case, but leeks can be done really nice. Where it's like, this almost is like it's like a weird mixture of like a caramelized onion with a better taste.
Yeah, it's a less like pungent taste.
It's not gonna kick you in the teeth, but it's nice. But I'm marrying mashed potatoes. The bun is out. I'm fucking the stuffing. The bun is just, come on, it's just bread, brother.
It all depends on how the mashed potatoes are made. Is there garlic? Is there cheese? Is there
It's so hard to fuck up mashed potatoes.
Yeah, people do it all the fucking time.
It's so hard to fuck up mashed potatoes. You can fix it. You can fix it while it's on your plate. You can put extra salt. You can put butter. You can mash it a little bit more. You can make it whatever you want. Marry it.
I don't want it. I don't want to fucking make my own dinner. I don't want to season. This shit better come fucking season. Stuffing I'm marrying, because then you can make like a stuffing waffle out of it the next day.
I feel like stuffing could be so bad though.
Again, it's he is so talkative tonight. Like,
he's getting into it.
Well, this is my section, boys.
Is it because Snides showed up and he's like, I gotta talk?
Yeah.
Finally
Very nervous. Yeah, and if it's a softball stuff, I give it to him. If it's food stuff, I've got to bring it. If it's MFK, it's got to be mine.
We go from one anorexic guy to the other, depending on if it's softball or food.
I just wear a baggy shirt. We've talked about this.
I gotta tell you, stuffing and mashed potatoes can go very wrong very quickly. Have you ever had a roll that you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking jerk off to you? No. Croissant, yes. Roll, no.
Croissant, yeah. It's all about the butter.
Mm-hmm.
So this goes back though. Remember, it's like this is the prime. This is every pick is the prime of its own. It's the best stuffing.
Okay, so it's the best mashed potatoes, the best stuffing. I'm marrying mashed potatoes. I'm fucking stuffing. I'm killing.
Thank you. Mashed potatoes, the best.
All right. Well, I'll do it
because we're talking about.
Oh my God, you're gonna marry a fucking roll, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God!
You're just doing it to just be devil's advocate.
And this is why I do not like potatoes like that.
So you just happen to come up with one that you knew already.
It feels like Bad Beat 2019 all over for Coco right now. He's marrying the roles. It's like tomorrow we're gonna have a conversation in Jim's house. And
I feel like you're bringing up things that are not your conversation to bring up. But that's no. So
what a fucking deep cut that was.
Thanksgiving is my least favorite of all meals, and I accept that people love mashed potatoes. I know this one. I'm so far out. I get that. I'm not denying it. My favorite thing about a Thanksgiving meal is making the small little sandwich afterwards. And so if I don't have the roll, I can't do that. So if I have to do this, if I have to do it every year, I need the roll.
Here's the thing though, Coco.
Did you put it on toast the day after or whatever? You don't need the fucking little tiny roll.
Here's where you get the fucking skinny guy coming in. We make our fucking sandwiches on full sheets of bread. This guy's making on fucking
going back to the
Thanksgiving sliders.
I've never had good mashed potatoes.
What?
I've never had them, and I know that they might be out there, but I've never had them.
He's lying this whole time.
I am going to send you.
I don't like steak fries. I don't like baked potatoes.
Fucking YouTube videos today of mashed potatoes. You're going to be like, you're going to be jerking off to some fucking interracial porn, and I'm going to be sending you. I'm going to send you fucking. I'm going to send you some fucking mashed potatoes that make me come.
I've been using the wrong cream.
You can literally.
It's not the cream.
You can literally get the bag of instant mashed potatoes, and those are not bad.
Fuck off, Jesus! Fuck you. No.
This is how I get a second.
They're still not terrible.
I would rather. I want a gratin potato.
They're not bad.
Mashed potatoes. They're not that fucking bad. my headphones are over here because I can't be a fucking associated with a fucking motherfucker that says that about box mash. All you have to do.
He's mad at you,
is
Dustin.
Take a potato.
I understand, but have
in a
you
pot
ever
of
had
water,
mashed
add
potatoes
17
from a box that
pounds
were
of butter,
bad?
salt, and
Not
cheese.
bad. What I said is
Yes.
not bad.
Yes.
He's rambling. What I said was
No.
not bad. I did not
are
say they
bad.
were good.
They're so bad.
I said that they were not bad.
So
You
bad.
They're not bad.
Box mashed potatoes are just they're the worst. And then regular mashed potatoes.
I understand
are very
they're not great, but they're not bad. You said that you
Are some saying that?
some people, a lot of people are saying it. It's weird.
Welcome to the show, Snides.
Yeah.
Was that a cloud candy?
You can get away with eating potatoes out of a small bag, instant mashed potatoes. You can get away with it. And it's what he's saying is he's never had a good mashed potato.
Trust me, what he said is just
wild.
as outlandish as what you fucking said.
At least I'm owning up to what I've said. He's trying to argue that a box mashed potato is still pretty good. It's still pretty good. He said that works.
I said it's not bad.
He's not bad.
It's pretty good.
But
not
the fact
bad.
that you've never been
not
like
bad.
you've never had a mashed potato with roasted garlic in it.
Mashed potatoes, not bad.
So
out of a bag.
I'm a texture guy. I don't like having things that are one texture. That's a part of it. I'm accepting this is my own Piccadilly.
Yeah, that's fine.
An idiosyncrasy, if you will.
Do we
You
have all
love
the
to-
answers? Are all the
You
answers
love to
in?
eat-
Yeah, I wrote
you
them
love
down.
to eat- So you
Okay.
love to eat box
What's the
like I
third?
like to
What's
run.
the third one? I can't imagine where we're going.
Yeah,
with
what
that.
is this third one here?
I told you it's dessert. It's apple pie, pumpkin pie, chocolate cream pie. I didn't add pecan, even though that would be my favorite because most people don't like
give
it.
a fuck.
I'll go first again.
Go,
I'm marrying the
okay.
pumpkin. I'm fucking the apple. I'm killing the chocolate because I don't like chocolate.
Works for me. I'm good enough with that. None of these. I'm fucking tripping over myself trying to get to the dinner table.
Pecan pie is the goat.
I
with
know,
you,
but I didn't
Coco.
think most people don't like it.
banana cream. Oh, I just creamed my pants. Banana cream pie is the fucking play.
But
So I
that
like
wasn't an option.
I know, but if I'm going for a cream pie,
Yeah,
I like the banana cream pie.
If I'm going for a cream pie, it's when I just leave
If I'm
it
going,
in a little
yeah,
too
if
long.
I'm going for if I'm going for a cream pie, it's usually no. I would
go
prefer.
to
It's not just like I'm
subreddit.
out. It's not
Go to
just like
subreddit.
what the fuck is happening.
The mailman
I'm
has
outta
gone
here.
home for the night.
Subreddit hot wife. You'll see plenty of cream pies.
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
going
like
apple,
the
chocolate, pumpkin. MFK.
apple this season is just off. I feel.
It's
There
Thanksgiving.
are two seasonal pies and a yearly pie.
Yeah, but apple is just apple's kind of like you need ice cream with it,
Yeah,
in
sure.
my opinion, to be good.
Okay.
And pumpkin
I mean,
pie,
no, that's
you
not true.
need-
That's not true. You can have a good pumpkin, a good apple pie without it. You know, I don't want to get into the weeds on this one, but the best
will.
apple pie is with a vanilla ice cream.
Yeah,
That's
I
everyone
agree.
knows that.
And the
Pumpkin
best
pie?
pumpkin pie is with family issues.
Or cheesecake with that pumpkin.
See,
I'm actually
I don't-
nervous.
I don't
where
mind a
his fire's
pumpkin pie.
gone
I
when you say
think-
that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to marry the pumpkin pie because wishing that it was pecan pie.
Because it starts with a P.
Because it starts with a P and it's you usually only get them around Thanksgiving. The
Okay.
pumpkin pecan.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna fuck a chocolate cream pie because who doesn't love a cream pie when you're fucking it? And killing me.
Dude, cream
Alright.
pies are so nice.
Somebody put me out of my misery.
Cream pies are great until the aftermath of a cream pie comes.
Yeah,
up.
if you're just fucking a cream pie, things could get dicey.
It's like
So
one
I'm
apple
so
pie.
so I'm on I live on that hot wife Reddit and I'm in a lot of
We're
different
there.
kinky subreddits. Breeding is one of the subreddits that I frequent. It's amazing. I get
It's
the
amazing.
breeding in,
Stop.
but it's
Period.
also-
Period.
but the aftermath of the breeding kink is pretty like I'll go back to like my thought of like knife play or like whatever. We'll just do role play. We'll do something simple. Choking.
I'll mute now.
Free use.
And let you
But like free use, like the free
What
use
do you
kink.
breathe?
It's easy. it's over. You can just free use. It's done. Like the breeding kink, where it sounds fun. The aftermath of a breeding kink, it lasts a lot longer than free use.
I'm sorry, but which pie are we talking about?
Because you kept talking about cream pies.
We talked about cream pie.
This is why.
Which pie are we
oh,
talking
shit,
about?
They have not hung up yet. They're still
Mike
going.
Snides.
You're gonna need to rewind that, Snides.
Snides.
Oh my goodness.
How kinky do we like to get? We're just talking about how I like to check around on different subreddits, and breeding is when I tend to breeding, hot wife. Those are a couple I like to hang out in. When you're talking about kinks, just like pies, like a cream pie kink really lives in that breeding subreddit. The Gone Wild cum sluts as well. GW cum sluts.
you Trip has rescinded their offer for
the red button.
This is why I need a BGB channel. But
okay, what were the pies?
But when you're doing like a free use kink versus a breeding kink, the breeding kink aftermath, like when that goes wrong, can last for a long time.
He needs you to explain the difference in those, I think.
No, he does not. He does not. He's going to hold his tongue a little bit, it looks like.
I just don't know how we got here.
Because it's me.
Was it my fault because I was talking about fucking the cream pie?
Yeah,
I'm gonna fuck the chocolate cream pie
because the cream pie.
Well, just because when you're fucking the cream pie, not bad.
All right, well let's do a little.
With an apple pie. Here. We learned that from what was it?
American pie. American pie. It has to be a warm apple pie.
You ever fucked an animal?
No.
See you guys.
What did you fuck, Corey? Coco.
No, I'm saying I'm leaving. You told me I'm the producer. I get to end this.
Oh, I thought you were leaving because you were nervous about.
All right,
I didn't hear what
you can't end this.
I didn't hear what you said. I thought we were talking about fucking warm apple pies still.
No, we're talking about, have you ever fucked an inanimate object outside of like a fleshlight, like an apple pie when you were a kid?
Shampoo?
You wait with your ass?
The bottle?
No, that would be the shampoo fucking me.
The bottle?
No, the shampoo itself. It's soft. It's like a conditioner in the shower.
I don't think you understand. Would you put it on the? I think he means without your hand, brother.
Well, okay. Well, because technically,
like,
shampoo
I
should
think,
be inanimate.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
No,
I mean, there was a time.
I don't like mashed potatoes. You think
allegedly.
of fucking inanimate objects?
Yeah. There was a time allegedly you would you would put it in between the mattress and the box spring. Allegedly, it was tough, but you figured out what the feeling was like.
When you've humped a pillow, I've never graduated from the pillow. It's just I'll throw ropes in my sleep.
I went straight for the bed.
Yeah.
In the box.
You like the extra weight weighing down.
I wanted to get the I
still remember the conversation with my parents. My mother came up. We had this like corduroy. I've talked about this on here before. I had this corduroy like armchair in the basement of my house in Simsbury, Connecticut.
I don't remember this.
And oh boy, I used to jerk off in that chair a lot, and I would just wipe my cum on the side of the chair. So my mother one day is like, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing in the basement, but can you stop wiping your hands on the chair?" And I was like, "Oh, you can notice that." I didn't know what cum was doing at that time. I was, 12, 13 years old, just fucking spraying glue. Like
you got the time he was in Germany.
You got the talk, so you were just jerking off on a chair, and I was fucking beds. I did not get the talk.
I did not have a talk.
Look where I ended up. I was fucking just off figuring shit out by myself.
I miss traveling. When there was nothing better than jerking off in a hotel room when I would check in. Like I'd be on the road. So I had a ritual. Whenever I got into a hotel, I like to shower when I get to my hotel room. When I was traveling, and I would get butt naked in whatever city I was in. I would get naked and go right up to the window, and I would just shake my fucking Irish cock over the entire city. There was one year I was in Pittsburgh, and we beat LA finally in one of the playoff series, and I see this group of people walking from the bar towards the hotel, lights on in my hotel room, and I'm just shaking my old fucking inch and a half of fucking pain fucking over all of Pittsburgh. It was a beautiful thing. But getting into a hotel room, there's nothing better than throwing a load right on that floor. You just wipe it up off you and you throw it on the floor. Never walk around a hotel floor barefoot.
Joey V always says, don't fuck with the hand towels. Whenever you go into a room, don't touch the hand towels.
You know how many little rows are in those hand towels?
So, Mike, you play conference. What's your when you get to the hotel? What do you do?
How much do you jerk off during? Hey, so
what does your roommate think?
Didn't realize that off the bench, the guy that runs Rebel is the Michigan State director.
Yep.
For U-Trip. What's his name?
James.
I didn't realize. I was watching it because off the bench. Flip. Sorry, we don't have bombs here, but boom. Actually,
Jesus Christ.
Comedic timing, this guy.
We don't have bombs. We get those. Those boys are back last night from off the bench. I didn't realize that he was. I didn't realize he was the one that ran your team at Rep.
Yep. Next year too, he's going to run it again.
So that is crazy, and we've talked about it. You know, I talked to Brett Wallingford of the head coach of Wall Stars, and a world champion with Anarchy, not 3-time world champion like yourself, Snides. But he was saying the same thing. It was like, it's just expensive as fuck for guys to travel from here. So hearing you saying, it's only going to cost $3,000 for you to play versus a guy from up here, it'll be double, triple that.
That year with Anarchy, I was driving to Boston to fly out of Boston because it was like $300 cheaper than flying out of Bradley. Like me and Wally flew together a lot because we would both drive to Boston.
I mean, and when you're in Plainville, it's not that bad of a drive.
2.5 hours.
It's 2.5 from Plainville?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, unless I was
probably the same for Wally, if not maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. But you think about it though, you're coming home Sunday, you're landing at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, good point.
By the time you get to your bags in your car, it's 1 a.m. Then you got a 2.5 hour ride.
Yeah, at one point it looked like some of the guys had left the tournament because you weren't sure if you were going to be in it at that point. I think it might have been one of the later tournaments.
Yeah,
I think Wally had to leave early or something like that too. It was like just like
it happens a lot where are you booking a Sunday morning or a Sunday night is a difference in $100 to $200.
And then being home at like midnight or later.
There was times where I got home on a Sunday night at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be at work at 7:30. And I had to go to work because I was out either Thursday and Friday or Friday. Yeah, so you literally go home, you sleep for 2.5 hours, and you push through the day.
And you don't touch Adderall.
No, it wouldn't work for me. I was prescribed Adderall my whole life. I don't take it anymore.
Jesus. Then you have to be full functioning dad when you get home, and
when you get home Monday from work, you have to be a human being again.
I've been home with the kids the whole weekend.
Yeah,
okay, guys, we're watching.
I'm going to take tonight off.
Wait, that doesn't happen for parents? I don't know. When I come home and I'm like, hey, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep tonight. Man, it's like, sure. But when you have kids, that's not how it goes.
No, my son was I had to run because my son was taking a shit and had no toilet paper left, so I had to go get him some more toilet paper.
That's why you got to have the fucking bidet. Do you have bidets?
No.
Get bidets.
They're not in Florida yet.
He's fucking 11. He doesn't need that. He's going to get a boner, and then they'll be talking like you.
Hey, it's always nice. Listen, speaking of nice, thanks for hanging out on this Tuesday evening with us.
Always.
Have it. Dude, you're fucking. Yeah. This isn't for you. This is for the guest. Bud. You're part of this now, Snides. Like, Snides, you're sucked in on every Tuesday night now. Deal with it.
That's fine. As long as I'm not playing League, I'm in.
Boom.
No, League night takes a backseat to the podcast. Sorry, you're part of this now. No, but thanks everybody tuning in. Hickey, congratulations, 2024 inductee, back-to-back 3 hours episodes. I think we're just doing Hickey a Christmas present at this point.
Yeah, this is an early present. For
the 24-hour thing is going to be fun. You could do it.
I think that's a great idea. We are doing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what better time than I don't know, the off season?
Mm-hmm.
right?
Should we do it on a Tuesday?
No.
I think
on
the
a
best
weekend.
bet is to do it like a Friday into a Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Or
take a
Saturday
Friday
into a
off.
Sunday.
So
No,
yeah, we'll
Sunday at
figure.
like 7:00 Friday night.
Yeah, do
Start
it. Start
Friday
at night.
7.
Unless
How
you
much
have
Adderall is involved in this compared
don't
to
do
a
Adderall,
regular softball tournament?
I don't touch
No matter-
Adderall. I don't touch Coke. Like I don't touch any of those uppers. So
No
I'm
matter
get you
what,
some
you're
Monster
gonna,
Energy drink.
you're gonna have to have a whole day cleared during the day.
Yeah. And you might need a break.
Ooh, stop. Amanda's going to Michigan at some point in January. Maybe that'll be the time. No, because the dog's got to go out. So
Can we
I got to do
talk-
it when she's home.
Can we talk about the cord covering a little bit of your nipple right now? It's like a little string bikini.
It's been a
you
fun
got
night,
going there,
everybody.
bud.
Thanks for hanging out this long. Can't believe
Happy
there's still
Thanksgiving.
13 of you. Have a wonderful holiday week.
We'll see you
13 of
guys.
you are psychos.
We'll see you next week. We're going to be off the first full week in December. We're going to take that week off, allegedly. Good night, everyone.
Allegedly. See ya.